all right, did he get it?
Yeah.
He was just watching the outfielder and looked like he had a beat on it and just missed it. So
he put the big dumper into it.
he did. He put that power source into it. It's pretty cool. so yeah, that was fantastic to see. It's just amazing to watch what he's doing, and hopefully he keeps it going because it's such a great story. Then you saw Randy Arozarena, the guy we've been, waiting for him to get hot. When's that hot streak going to come? He's been sitting on 99 career home runs for a few weeks now, and then here comes number 100.
Now the stretch. And the 2-1 to Randy. Swinging a fly ball into deep center field. Going back his belt to the one. He tracked the wall. He does it again. Randy Arozarena with a second home run in back-to-back at-bats.
Oh, that's 101 there. Excuse me. So he hit numbers 100 and 101. And then Dan Wilson commenting on him, hitting the ball the other way, getting to that career mark of 100 home runs.
He's from what we have seen has really swung the bat well, and I thought the series in Texas was a good one. He had some big hits for us yesterday, and then today, being able to use the whole field, go the other way on his home runs, just driving them that way. And I think we talk about it a lot, but when you're able to drive the ball to the opposite field, you're doing a lot of good things with your swing, and that's what he did tonight. Congratulations to him on reaching that. That's a big milestone, and just love to see that from him, and just what he brings to our team. A lot of joy and laughter in that dugout, and it was great to see that tonight.
Yeah, and his home run, I mean, it'd been a while for him. I mean, it was Arizona series, the middle game that they lost 10-3 at a home run down in Arizona. But yeah, for him, and we've talked a lot about, we talk about Julio and Cal, and Randy needs to, kind of contribute a little bit, and he did in a big way. So maybe that'll get him around the corner a little bit as far as getting back to hitting home runs and for power.
Yeah, it was really good to see him. Maybe that gets him rolling. We'll see what happens there. But he's huge for this lineup. We're all waiting for Julio, still waiting, still beating the ball into the ground. Yeah. But Randy getting hot goes a long way into helping this lineup. And he's a guy you should count on. He's a guy that's looked at as one of your producers and a young guy and a guy who's making a decent chunk of money. So by Mariner standards. So he's that next guy. You look at Cal, Julio as your producers. The next guy on that list is going to be Randy Arozarena.
Right.
And then you're going to throw in Luke Raley and other, but that would be your logical next guy. So seeing him get hot goes a very long way. Just as an offense last night, they struck out 3 times.
Amazing.
3 total times. Yeah. For this team, that is remarkable. That is remarkable. Cole Young had a nice night, 3 hits, goes 3 for 4. That was cool to see. So a lot of good happening with the offense. And then George Kirby goes out there, and it's just spinning a gem. 6 innings, 3 hits, all in the 1 inning. All 3 hits happened in the 1 inning. 1 run scores, no walks, 5 Ks, 85 pitches. He was fantastic. The only thing I had an issue with is, why did you pull him? 85 pitches, every inning was 3 up, 3 down, except for the third inning. Yeah. Third inning, he gave up 3 singles, played it a run. That was his highest stress inning. Every other one, 5 innings of 3 up, 3 down, 85 pitches. Your bullpen is in tatters. Your bullpen is gassed. Kudos to Thornton getting out there and doing what he did for as long as he did. I mean, they're working those guys to death, and you got a chance to bring him back out for the 7th at 85. Why not? Why would you pull him at that point? And I didn't hear anybody ask Dan. I didn't hear him comment on it. I was like, oh man, I hope he's okay.
Right.
When he was pulled, I was like, uh-oh, did something crop up? Is it tightening in the forearm? One of those things? Nothing.
Yeah, and the one thing that pisses him off the most is walking hitters, and he didn't.
No.
So yeah, I didn't really understand that part of it, but I always figure, okay, they have some kind of a plan, and I don't think Kirby was maybe caught by surprise. But yeah, I'm not sure what. Particularly with what you said, I mean, with the bullpen having
absolutely exhausted.
Over the last few games.
I mean, you have had no nights off. You had 3 games in a row where you went extra innings. Bullpen's having to cover a ton of innings. They were fantastic, but you're down there going, well, who's available? Vargas can't go. He's gone X amount of nights in a row. You're not going to throw Munoz out there with a 4-run lead. They had to go to Brash. I mean, the only guy that didn't pitch is the young guy that's got no major league experience yet.
Yeah.
So Thornton's going multiple innings. It's just, and somebody, because I tweeted it out going, I hope he's okay. That move doesn't make sense to me. I hope he's okay. And somebody's like, well, he's still coming back. No spring training. But I'm like, no. You go look at his game log, and on the 3rd of June, he threw 95 pitches against the Orioles. His next start, 96 pitches against the Angels. Start after that, 101 pitches versus Cleveland, then 85, then 90 in his last start, and then 85 last night. So it's not like, well, his pitch count, we're slowly working him up. No, you had a game June 14th against Cleveland. He threw 101.
Yeah. So,
and again, it would be different if these were high-stress innings and, man, he had traffic every inning and he was really having to work. And okay, that's different. It was a total opposite of what we saw, though. So that was one where I was just I didn't get it. I didn't understand what the motivation was there.
I mean, I always get the idea, and that was one that I'm loath to criticize Dan Wilson, just because I feel like he's got a plan and there was a reason for that or whatever. And did Kirby look surprised? I mean, I didn't see him pissed or anything.
Well, he didn't get pulled, so you don't really see him, right? He completes the 6th inning,
right,
and then goes into the dugout. They hit, and then all of a sudden there's a reliever out there. So I didn't really see his reaction.
Yeah, well, usually they show him right after, and they're talking to the other pitchers and whatever. But hey, you go back to particularly the Angel one you just mentioned, 7 innings. That was the game where he got 14 strikeouts, and he looked great after that one. So yeah, I'll be curious to hear what the story is there. Maybe we'll ask Charlie Furbush about that.
Yeah, it was just a way, considering the shape of your bullpen and how much they'd had to pitch. Yeah. And you've got no nights off. That was just, for me, it was an odd move. After the game, Dan was praising Kirby, though, just talking about the control he had of all of his pitches.
Starting with George, I thought he threw the ball exceptionally well tonight. Was in control. A lot of 3 up, 3 down kind of innings. And, just thought he had really good command of his stuff, using his fastball well, using his secondaries well. A really nice outing for him.
Yeah, a lot of 3 up, 3 down innings, 5 of them. 5 of his 6. And then Kirby, after the game, just talking about he wants to go deep into games and command the zone each time to build up before the All-Star break.
I feel like I'm commanding the ball better, so, I want to go as deep as I can, limit the damage and give the team best chance to win. But, yeah, going into the All-Star break, feel good. Hopefully keep stacking these starts and come out of the break nice and healthy and get going.
He said stack.
They all say it, unfortunately. So, yeah, great night. Kirby looked fantastic. Offense came through. Cal Raleigh just being Cal Raleigh. Cole Young, 3 hit. There's a lot of positive. And these are, and we'll talk more about this, but these are the games you need to stack.
Yeah.
These are the wins, Dave, against a team like the Royals, a team like the Pirates coming in, because you're going to end this first half on the road against the Yankees and the Tigers, arguably the 2 best teams in the American League. So, wins may be a little harder to come by, but we'll talk more about that. Right now, let's take 2.
Mariners prospects Jurangelo St. Harry Ford, and Lazaro Montez have all been selected to play in the All-Star Future Game.
It's pretty cool. I think there's only one other team that's got 3 representatives in there. So, nice acknowledgement to the farm system. These guys getting some spotlight, getting some love out there. It's going to be fun to watch.
Well, we're talking a lot about, who are some of the prospects that you could, would give up. And now all of a sudden I'm sort of finding an attachment with Senja, just because it is so unique of what he's able to do.
I've kind of got it for Montez.
Is that right?
Because he's just so big and he's so young.
You saw him in person, right?
He's huge, yeah. Yeah, he's a guy. I literally ran into him at spring training. He was a teenager. I'm looking up, he's a building. So when this guy is fully formed, he's just so massive, and he hits tanks. He's just the potential is exciting. I don't know if it'll happen. He may be a bust. You never know. But call him Baby Alvarez. He's going to be bigger than Alvarez. He's exciting. So hopefully, we'll see if they don't ever trade him, if he makes his way through the system, what he looks like as a big leaguer. But pretty exciting potential attached to these guys.
Happy Bobby Bonilla Day. Today, the Mets will pay Bobby Bonilla $1.2 million, as they have and will continue to do every July 1st from 2011 through 2035. Back in 2000s, the Mets bought out Bonilla's $6 million contract, but instead of paying him in a lump sum, they agreed to pay $1.2 million a year for 25 years, starting in 2011, because Mets ownership was invested in a Bernie Madoff Ponzi scheme. This is my favorite story in all of sports every single year.
And that's saying a lot because you don't like sports.
No, but this is endlessly fascinating.
So they said, instead of this $6 million check, we could just write and be done. We're going to pay you this lump sum over a quarter of a century. Or we're going to pay you this sum each year.
Yeah.
For 25 years. It's not SGA money. Still pretty cool to know. I got a check of over $1 million coming every year.
Yeah. Much, much less than that. But I had, for 2 years after my career, I got paid on my birthday. And it was a much
For what?
much smaller.
Paid by
It was my contract that I signed with the Broncos.
Oh.
So it was really nice having that. And who was the guy? Was it Adrian Peterson that somehow blew through like $100 million or something? Who was
there's been a bunch of them.
the player? I mean, that's who needed this.
Andre
this
Rison,
contract.
they had that whole special about all the athletes that blew all their money. I mean, Tyson blew through $400 million.
But there's lots of athletes that could have used this contract.
Oh, yeah.
Right here.
That's exactly right. Take Two is brought to you by Swedish Cyberknife. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. How important is it for the Mariners to stack these wins before the All-Star break? We'll get into that coming up next with Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
And the 2-1 to Randy. Swinging a fly ball into deep center field.
Back home with a bang.
He does it again. Randy Arozarena with a second home run in back-to-back at-bats.
Tonight, Game 2 against the Royals at T-Mobile. First pitch tonight at 6:40. Wyman and Bob take you to pregame at 5:30.
Holy smokes.
On the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports, and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Mike Salk here with some exciting news from a family-owned business that's local here in Western Washington. Yeah, we love to root for these guys. It's Riverside Roofing, and they've once again earned the prestigious GAF Master Elite President's Club. Well, that puts them in the 99.9th percentile of all roofers in the nation. So you might remember I've been talking about only 3% of roofing companies nationally qualify for GAF Master Elite status. But how many of those achieve President's Club? Well, that's only 2%. Truly the cream of the crop. Proudly from Marysville and serving homeowners all over Western Washington, Riverside Roofing is the roofing company you can trust. So what does that mean for you, the homeowner? Well, it means you're hiring the best. A company that gets high marks in performance, reliability, and service, plus an elite warranty to match. Highly reviewed and highly recommended, certainly by me. Riverside Roofing is your go-to local roofing contractor. Book them now and get that roof done fast. I highly recommend them. Go to riversideroofingllc.com. They are the roofing company you can trust.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here from my friends at PCF Group, or People Come First Construction Group, and that's exactly what they did when we made the call a couple years ago. We wanted to redo our outdoor space, wanted to add a deck, an outdoor living, a television, and a kitchen. And PCF Group, wow, they more than delivered. And if you're interested in building a stunning outdoor area like we did, I cannot recommend them enough. Reach out before the good weather arrives, and their schedule, well, it's going to fill up. So whether you're looking for a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you covered. Design now and pay later. In fact, get 12 months, no interest and no payments, and up to $6,000 off and a $1,000 Amazon gift card. Request a complimentary design and estimate consultation at 425-629-8476 or project ideas. Explore photos at pcfgroup.com. That's 425-629-8476.
Hey, everybody, it's Bob Stelton here. Let me tell you about one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. That's when I went to K2 Vision for refractive lens exchange. Now, if you're somebody like me who struggled with distance vision, maybe you always need a pair of reading glasses, K2 Vision RLE could be your perfect permanent solution like it was for me. And here's the cherry on top. You'll never develop a cataract. K2 Vision RLE is quick, painless, and I am seeing great now without glasses or readers. I can actually read restaurant menus. I can read the receipts when they show up. I can read texts on my phone. It's amazing. RLE is an absolute game changer. I'm so excited to spend my good active years not needing reading glasses. K2 Vision RLE gave me great vision that's permanent. The doctors at K2 Vision have performed over 150,000 lens procedures, so they know when RLE is right for you. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at K2visionrle.com. K2visionrle.com. K2 Vision RLE. No readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts. K2visionrle.com.
You know what's faster than your paycheck? Literally everything. It's time to get your pay up to speed. With Earnin, you can access your pay as you work instead of waiting days and weeks for a paycheck. Get up to $150 a day with a max of $750 between paydays. No interest, no credit checks, and no mandatory fees. Because, hey, it's your money. Download the Earnin app now to get it and join millions of people making any day payday. That's EARNIN. Earnin is not a bank. Access limits are based on your earnings and risk factors available in select states. Expedited transfer is available for a fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Visit earnin.com for full details.
The home of the Mariners.
Left off to center. It is on its way. Julio, 2-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Summer is here, and now is the time to break through those weight loss frustrations. Hey, it's Dr. Coogan with Eastside Weight Loss Clinic, and we have a proven system that can help you lose weight and get healthy. No drugs, no side effects, no calorie counting, no exercise. Just teaching you the simple steps to become a fat-burning machine and keep it off long term. Remove the stress of trying to do this on your own and picture being down 20 to 30 pounds in just 60 days with our help. At Eastside Weight Loss Clinic, we know the secret for fast and lasting weight loss using real healthy foods and lifestyle changes. Schedule your free consultation online at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Yeah, look your best this summer. Even with a busy schedule and vacation, the Eastside Weight Loss Clinic plan isn't going to cause much disruption. Don't wait or put it off because you're busy. Lose weight during this summer and watch that transformation really happen for you.
Join the thousands of people who've lost 20 to 30 pounds or more in just 60 days. You can do our program in person in Kirkland or all remotely. Schedule your free phone consultation online at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. You'll get a maximum tax deduction and a vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays, 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. We were talking about money and big contracts and SGA signing a $285 million 4-year extension, every penny guaranteed. Damian Lillard being waived by the Bucks, still gets his $113 million he's owed. And just people texting him what they would do with the money. I thought this may have come from your phone. 425. With that kind of money, I'd hire someone to mow my lawn. Screw mowing my lawn ever again. Somebody else said I'd buy this radio show and fire Lefko. I think that was Matt.
Yeah, that might have been Matt.
He's in a different country. He's not going to hear it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and then the other one, people trying to sell me on some way that makes your dogs pee, not kill grass. I'm sorry, I'm not buying it.
Yeah,
if that was a thing, I could go to Petco right now and pick up whatever
the variation of that remedy. Yeah, somebody make millions and millions off that, and you and my dad would be first in line to buy it. Meanwhile, we talked about what's in front of this Mariner team prior to the All-Star break. So you've got 3 more with the Royals. You've got 3 with the Pirates following that here on the homestand. Then you take to the road, and you're facing off against the Yankees and the Tigers. And you look at those and go, okay, that's going to be tough. That's going to be those are Yankees are, 48-36. They're first place in their division. Tigers are 53-32. They're up by 11.5 games. They've got an 11.5 game lead over the Guardians. It's not a great division. They're the only winning team in the division, but Tigers, record-wise, extremely good team. So you've got those two sitting in front of you. Wins may be a little tough. So you need to I'd look at this stretch, this homestand, and say, you got to clean up. Yeah. You got to take 5 of 7.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm being a bit greedy, but.
No, I think so. I mean, I don't think you can split with Kansas City, and, you got to New York and Detroit. And then, the other thing that is looking at Houston, and what I was looking at their schedule. They have 9 series wins in a row, a couple of ties in there, where they split in 4-game series, but they've got 3 sweeps. And, the last series loss they had was Tampa Bay back in May 21st. So, and it's just a team that, and coming up, they got Texas, who they split with, but then they're going to Colorado. They got Cleveland at home, who they won a series against 2-1, and then they've got the Dodgers at Dodgers. So at least, the little bit of difficulty there, although they do have the Colorado Rockies in their schedule. But it's ridiculous, and it's frustrating, and I'm bringing it up just because, that's what you have in the division. And I was looking at
you're 6 games back.
Yeah.
Of the Astros in the division. You're 44-40.
Yeah.
And by the way, they were at this point last year, after 84 games, they were 10 games over 500. The Mariners.
Yeah.
They were 47-37.
How far ahead were we of the?
I don't know where they were at in the standings. I was just looking at their record.
But at one point, they had like a 10-game lead or an 8-game lead.
Yeah, that was like mid-June, I think, is when they had the 10-game lead, and then it started slowly dissipating.
Houston is so frustrating to watch. They have 9 losses by 2 runs, 7 losses by 1. I mean, they like half their games they have been in it. So yeah, it's just it's frustrating knowing that that's who is on the other end of all of these series, whether it's a win or split or whatever. But I'm with you. I think that you gotta do some serious damage here in these next couple of series here at home.
Well, and yeah, you've got to just, if you're the Mariners, you're probably just just assume that the Astros are going to win every night. Obviously, they're not going to, but just make that assumption. Right now, the Mariners have that 3rd wild card spot. They're up 2.5 games over the Angels, who are the next closest team for that wild card spot. So they got a 2.5 game lead on them. Boston's 3 back, Cleveland's 3 back, Texas is 3.5 back. So there's kind of a logjam there. They're all within 3.5 games of you. So you got to cling to that spot. Yeah, you still want to shoot for the division. There's a ton of baseball left, so a lot can happen. But you're 6 games back. Right now, you own that 3rd spot. Clean up. Yeah. You've got to dominate the teams that are there to be dominated. And you've got the worst scoring team in all of baseball in the Kansas City Royals on your home field. You take 3 of 4. 4 would be great. I don't expect it, but I expect 3. Yeah. You got to get 3 from this team. And the same is true for the Pirates. Pirates are not a good team. And, what the mentality that's going on there, I have no idea how they're feeling. They're in last place. They're 14 games under 500. They have won 4 in a row. So we'll see, what kind of intensity they come to Seattle with. But these are teams you look at and say, you've got to win that series. You take 2 of 3 from the Pirates. You take 3 of 4 from the Royals. And then fingers crossed against the Tigers and Yankees.
Right. Hey, you know how we always ask NFL players, like, hey, do you know who you play next week? Or, 2 weeks from now? They never know. I wonder if baseball players are that way. Because on the schedule here before the break, you're going to New York, and that's going to be a big deal with Cal Raleigh and Aaron Judge, and I think that's going to be interesting to see how much, and maybe that'll help bring a lot more attention, voting-wise at least, for MVP for Cal.
What if they both go off in that series?
Yeah.
They're both launching home runs left and right.
It's probably just going to be a total dud. They'll both
they're both 0 for the series.
0 for, yeah. All that build-up.
But
I'm sure
Miles Mastroboni hitting home runs left and right. Cal's 0 for 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, Stroh's out there just killing it.
Yeah, just crushing it. Yeah, look, just win games. I don't care who does what. I'm rooting for Cal, obviously, to do great things, but just win these games. Take care of business here on this homestand. They've not been a good home team. These are teams you're supposed to beat. If you want to consider yourself a playoff contender, a World Series contender even, you beat these teams. You win these series.
Do you think when Judge and Cal walk past each other, they kind of like dogs start growling at each other?
I think there's a lot of mutual respect there. I think they look at, hey, what's up, man? This is pretty fun, right?
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's all love, all friendly. But, yeah, that'll be fun to watch and see what kind of damage each one does. Hopefully it's the Cal show and Aaron Judge goes in the tank for the series.
There you go. I just like to think that Cal would walk by and say, hey, man, you're doing a great job, but I want to kill you. I'm going to beat you.
Cal would go, I mean, he's allowed to. He can.
Well, if he wants to be the MVP.
If he wants to hit a home run, he's allowed to. I mean, totally up to him. But, yeah, I'm more curious to see where Judge's numbers end up at the end of the year, because obviously he set the American League record. His average it's slowly come down, but he's still hitting for a ridiculous average. But, I mean, he was hovering around 400 for a good part of this first half of the season. I think he's 2 for 2 today so far in their game. They're tied with the Toronto Blue Jays at 4 apiece. So,
yeah, he's got 30 home runs. He's 354, but wasn't he at one point, like you said?
Yeah, he was like 398. He was hovering there for quite a while. So, yeah, he's up to 358 now. He's 2 for 2 today with 2 walks.
Yeah, he started off.
He's got a 464 on base. My goodness.
Yeah. So that's going to be interesting looking down the road. But that's a tough road trip, man. So like you said, and, as much as we look forward to the Yankees and Aaron Judge, the Detroit Tigers are just on fire.
Yeah.
So
stack wins, Dave. You got to stack them.
You got to stack them.
That's right. That's one. Then you get another one, put it on top. Then you win another one, put it on top of those two.
That's how you stack wins.
You start stacking. All right, coming up, we heard about them electing a new pope. But what else have the Cardinals been up to over the offseason? Oh, Matt, look how proud he is.
So proud.
I really am.
We'll check in on the Seahawks division rival. Coming up next, it's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
And the 2-1 to Randy, swinging a fly ball into deep center field.
Back home with a bang.
He does it again. Randy Arozarena with a second home run in back-to-back at-bats.
Tonight, Game 2 against the Royals at T-Mobile. First pitch tonight at 6:40. Wyman and Bob take you to pregame at 5:30.
Holy smokes.
On the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports, and the Seattle Sports app.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Dick's epic 4th of July sale is on. Get summer ready with 25% off select Stanley drinkware. Get 20% off Igloo coolers and water bottles and select bog bags. Buy one, get one 50% off DSG coolers, canopies, chairs, and water bottles. $200 off Callaway AI smoke irons and TaylorMade QI10 drivers. These deals won't last. Stock up for summer now, in-store or online at Dicks.com. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
With great deals coming this Prime Day, July 8th through the 11th, greatness is a deal away. So if you love baking, you can get a deal on a new mixer, transforming you into the Lord of the Loaves.
Hear ye! Make way for the baron of brioche, the sultan of sourdough, the Lord of the Loaves, Prime Member Dave!
Yeah, hi?
Shop great deals this Prime Day, July 8th through the 11th.
When the heat's an 11.
Cool AC would be heaven.
Dayandnight.net.
Beat the rush.
Act now before summer.
Because that heat's a real bummer.
Dayandnight.net.
Even though our Northwest summers can be spectacular, there's always a long, hot stretch that makes everyone say, man, AC sure would be nice. Well, except for that one annoying friend who won't stop talking about how great his AC is. Hi, I'm Bruce with Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. You can stay comfortably cool when those hot temps arrive. This is the time to plan ahead and call us about installing a high-efficiency AC or heat pump. Or if you have an existing system, we'll come and service it. Make sure it's running efficiently and ready to cool when you need it.
Before the summer heat wave, keep your house cool and safe.
DayandNight.net.
Make sure your AC will keep you cool this summer. Save $50 on a pre-summer AC tune-up. Or for a new system, get 10% off an air conditioner or heat pump. Call for details.
DayandNight.net.
You're free now. Free to stream beyond your wildest dreams.
Rom-coms, slasher-coms, space operas.
Free to fill your feed with impossibly chunky chunkers.
Cats, corgis, babies on demand.
Free to make your smart devices do silly things.
Bowl of chips on the Robo-Vacuum.
Free to open a world of remote work and Gametopia.
Who's the boss now?
Free to be everything you imagine. That's how it feels to have Quantum Fiber Internet. Your world unleashed. Learn more at quantumfiber.com.
Limited availability, service in select locations only.
The home of the Mariners.
One hopper snared at short. On a quick hop by J.P. Crawford. That guy's a magician over there at shortstop.
Seattle Sports.
Download the Seattle Sports app.
Get ready to rock with Bret Michaels at Emerald Queen Casino Event Center, Thursday night, July 10th. Rock and roll rebel Bret Michaels. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. Bret Michaels rocks your world July 10th at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. 21 and older, need gambling help, call 800-547-6133 or visit emeraldqueen.com.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
At Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, experience the power of choice. Whether you're cruising on a fuel-sipping Prius, tackling trails in a rugged Tacoma, hauling with the mighty Tundra, or commuting in comfort with the Camry or RAV4, your perfect Toyota is waiting. Whether you're in the north or the south, they've got you covered. 2 locations, endless possibilities. Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton, the power of choice is yours. Visit their incredible team and beautiful showrooms today or online at toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studios, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Coming up at 3 o'clock, the voice of your Seattle Mariners, Aaron Goldsmith, will join us on the program. Stay tuned for that conversation. Again, the text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. You guys can weigh in on whatever we're talking about here. Meanwhile, starting to get ready for football season. It's right. It'll be here before we know it. Training, I was about to call it spring training. Training camp coming up at the end of July. So we'll be out there broadcasting every day and talking to the players, getting the excitement going. So taking a look at what's going on in this division. You got the 49ers, who are always the big threat, the competition, the Rams, the Cardinals. Taking a look at the Cardinals, doing a little preview on them. You did some homework last night, Dave.
Yeah, so just kind of looking at, they've been kind of a weird team over the last few years, and
by that you mean not very good,
right?
Yeah,
exactly, and a lot of that because of Kyler Murray, really. But Jonathan Gannon's been there for a couple of years now, and the head coach. And I was just kind of looking at their numbers. They're very much like the Seahawks were last year, kind of middle of the pack as far as like offensive and defensive nubbers. You know, but the one thing that stands out, I think, when you look at what they did last year, they ran the ball pretty well. They were number 7, and they had a 1,000-yard rusher in James Conner. So, and then Murray, actually, if you look at Kyler Murray, he had 1 yard less than K9. last year. So, yeah, he's a threat. I don't know. I just don't know if he's a winner, man. I mean, you look at
so far he's not.
You look at his stats and his record, and it's right around 500. So, but yeah, kind of interesting. I think the one thing that they did in the draft that was pretty noticeable, they had 7 draft choices this year. 6 of them were defenders. So they're really trying to get their defense going, and doesn't surprise me too much because Gannon is a defensive guy. But yeah, just trying to look at what they're good at, and they've been kind of I don't know. I feel like we've had a handle on the Rams and the Niners of kind of where they're at, and Arizona's just been sort of up and down. And yeah, it's one of those that I guess I don't count on them being a threat in the NFC West, but maybe they will be.
I mean, they were 8-9 last year. The 49ers finished last, but they were riddled with injuries to every key player on that team.
Right.
Yeah, I don't look much like the, when we talk about dominant teams, whether it was the Patriots or whether it's the Astros, there's certain teams they got to lose before I'm going to go, okay, now I buy it. They're done. That run is done. Same is true on the opposite end for me with the Cardinals. They got to go through and have a great season for me to believe that they're anything but what they've been. Yeah, they can beat you. They're going to win games. They won 8 games last year. But in terms of being an elite team, a good team, they're just, I don't know if it's all Kyler. I don't know if it's the philosophy. I don't know if it's the ownership. Maybe it's a little mix of everything. But they're going to have to win before I buy them as a legit threat. Again, acknowledging they could come up here and beat the Seahawks. Seahawks have not been a good home team. Right. Seahawks were great on the road last year. Not good at all at home. So very easily they could lose to this team. But having said that, I still don't look at the Arizona Cardinals at this point and go, oh, man, rest of the league better watch out because this is a team that can do some damage. Yeah, I don't think they are.
No, I agree with you. And then you look at Kyler Murray. I mean, he was actually 69% completion percentage, and their pass game was kind of middle of the road. But yeah, I feel like he's a guy that if he's on the right track, he can beat you. But another guy, I think that, a couple of things as far as their receivers go. Trey McBride, their tight end, that guy's really good. I mean, he only scored a couple of touchdowns, but he had 1,200 yards, and he was the number one target. But then, you look at Marvin Harrison, who had 885 yards last year receiving, and I was looking at kind of comparing it to JSN's rookie year, and JSN was around 650, something like that.
Harrison had 8 touchdowns, though.
Yeah, and also he started every game, and JSN I think only started 2 or 3 games. So, but yeah, I mean he's an up and comer, but they went heavy on defense, and so they got Budda Baker and Kazir White is a good linebacker, so they've got some good pieces on defense, but they really went heavy as far as the draft goes.
Well, their leading sack artist last year was Zaven Collins with 5.
Yeah,
and then Dante Stills had 4.5. L.J. Collier. 3.5.
That sounds
he
right.
was third on
though.
the team. That's 3.5 more than he had here.
Hey, you know what? You take away that first round draft, and he's just a guy.
He is just a guy. But they are not a team that gets to the quarterback. I mean, you had 3.5, 3. I mean, you got a lot of guys with sacks, but it's all 2. Your leader 5.
Right. Yeah, so, I mean, obviously they're trying to get way better on defense because, they drafted that Walter Nolan kid. I think we talked about him, the Ole Miss defensive tackle. Not super sexy pick there. He's one of those interior guys. And kind of like Byron Murphy, really. But and then, the other guy they got, I really like this kid, Will Johnson, who was the corner from Michigan. Mm-hmm. And I thought, and there were some people talking about he could be the steal of the draft. But the problem was with that guy is, the Seahawks are sticklers on injuries. And
right.
he was just banged up. It seemed like his whole career at Michigan. But man, when he got on the field, he's a great player. So yeah, we'll see how they improve on defense. But it was kind of interesting to look at some of the numbers, like turnover ratio. I'd forgotten this. We were -6. -6. I mean, Pete Carroll, that would have been a crisis, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he was always positive turnover ratio, and the Arizona, and they're kind of similar. If you look at our defensive numbers, our offensive numbers, now I'd say if you look at the second half of the season for the Seahawks, much better. But they were kind of middle of the road, just pretty much like Arizona. So,
yeah, Arizona's weird. You look at them; they scored more points than any team in the division last year. They scored 400 points, and they allowed the second fewest behind the Seahawks. Seahawks allowed 368. They allowed 379. Rams 386. Niners 436. So scored a lot. They scored more than any in the division. Allowed the second fewest. Yet they're 8-9.
Yeah. Well, and remember that point, and this was like going back 3, 4, 5 years ago, where they owned us up here.
Yeah.
You know, they would come up here and win regularly. So
yeah, another one when didn't matter if they were terrible or not, they were a problem.
Right.
Like the Rams for years.
Exactly.
So I don't know. Maybe I'm not giving enough credit to the Cardinals, but I need to see it to believe it with them. We can look at them on paper and go, oh, this guy's good. Oh, look at this guy. I'd love to have this guy. And certainly every team's got talent, regardless of how the season turns out. But there's a lot of show me with that team. I need to see it.
Particularly at quarterback, and I'm sorry to put that on him but I mean that's just the way it is. That your quarterback. I mean you pretty much go the way of your quarterback, and he put up good numbers. Like I said, 69%, 3,800 yards. He did throw the 11 picks, and then you look at what he does with his feet. I mean, he averages 7 yards every time he scrambles, or they have a designed run on some of those. And yeah, I mean, he's got all the numbers except for leading his team, really. And I don't think he's a great leader, just from what I've seen from what we hear during the offseason, and then having to have the verbiage written into his contract that he spends more time looking at film.
Is that the most damning piece of news to ever come out about a player? Like, you literally have to be contractually obligated to study.
I'm trying to think right now. First of all, yes, I think, but also like his agent. I mean, could they have maybe done that in a secret clause, or maybe he could have managed that better so that information did not get out?
Yeah, that is so damning for a guy who's already perceived to have a bit of an attitude or questions about his leadership, or at minimum, is he a winner? Does he love the game? Those are minimum questions about him, and then to find out that was written into the contract, just solidifies everybody's opinion of him already. Gone. Well, he's contractually obligated to do film study. That's a bad sign. We hear first in, last out about all these different players, and this guy's having it written into his contract. You got to try. You got to put in the effort to win.
Remember Michael Jackson when he was here? He would get into. He was like the first one in. He would be in at like 5:30 in the morning, and same thing with Bobby Wagner.
Russ was the same way.
And I have a tendency to blame the agent, but how did his agent let that get out there?
That's bad.
Even if it is something that they need to get done, there's got to be a way to cover that up or not expose that part of it. So
yeah, that's a bad look. That's no two ways around that. All right, coming up, what did Aaron Goldsmith make of Cal's 33rd home run? We'll get his take on that and everything else going on with the Mariners. He joins us next. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
ESPN senior baseball insider Buster Olney on Brock and Salk.
What do you make of this Mariners team in general?
There are just so many teams in the middle, and they're almost to the point that it makes it hard to define them all. I think the Mariners actually have one of the better chances to break out of that pack because of their potential ceiling for their pitching once they get that in order. Their centerpiece star is having the greatest season that we've ever seen from a catcher in the history of baseball.
Hear the full interview on the Seattle Sports app and the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Hold up a sec. If I work today, why should I have to wait 2 weeks to get my money? With Earnin, you can access your pay as you work instead of waiting days and weeks for a paycheck. Get up to $150 a day with a max of $750 between paydays. No interest, no credit checks, and no mandatory fees. Because, hey, it's your money. Download the Earnin app now to get it and join millions of people making any day payday. That's EARNIN. Earnin is not a bank. Access limits are based on your earnings and risk factors available in select states. Expedited transfers available for a fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Visit earnin.com for full details.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Aloha! Dreaming of sandy beaches and ocean breezes? JTV's Tropical Treasure Sweepstakes could make that dream come true. Enter for your chance to win a fabulous Hawaiian getaway for two with luxury accommodations, airfare, and spending cash. Plus, just for entering, get $30 off your next qualifying JTV purchase of at least $99 when you opt in for emails. Don't miss out. Visit jtv.com/sweeps and enter by August 3rd. JTV, where paradise awaits.
It's the Graz here for my friends at Premier Golf. Take advantage of early sunrise and late sunset at the 11 different Premier courses today. From Bellingham, Everett, and Marysville to Linwood, Bellevue, and Seattle, even out on the coast, they've got a course near you. Play Inter Bay or Jackson, Bill Wright or West Seattle, Bellevue, Legion Memorial, Walter Hall, Linwood, Cedar Crest, Lake Patton, and even Ocean Shores. Courses are in great shape and ready for your next round. Visit PremierGolfCenters.com, that's PremierGolfCenters.com, and book your tee time today.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at PCF Group, or People Come First Construction Group, and that's exactly what they did when we made the call a couple years ago. We wanted to redo our outdoor space, wanted to add a deck, an outdoor living, a television, and a kitchen, and PCF Group, wow, they more than delivered. And if you're interested in building a stunning outdoor area like we did, I cannot recommend them enough. Reach out before the good weather arrives, and their schedule, well, it's going to fill up. So whether you're looking for a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you covered. Design now and pay later. In fact, get 12 months, no interest and no payments, and up to $6,000 off and a $1,000 Amazon gift card. Request a complimentary design and estimate consultation at 425-629-8476 or project ideas. Explore photos at pcfgroup.com. That's 425-629-8476.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Progressive knows when you're in your RV, you're already on vacation. That's when you become Vacation You, who just camped where there's absolutely no shade. Even though regular you burns easily. In fact, Vacation You burns too, but is too stubborn to admit it, which is why regular you gets in trouble at the dermatologist, because Vacation You doesn't do doctors. So bundle your RV with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
The countdown is on.
22 days until Seahawks training camp.
On the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports. 710 KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners get the big win in Game 1 of their 4-game series with the Kansas City Royals. They look to make it 2 in a row tonight when they send Emerson Hancock to the hill. He'll face off against Michael Lorenzen. You can catch all of the action of that one starting at 5:30 with the pregame show. 6:40 first pitch right here, Seattle Sports on 710. One game going on right now. Blue Jays up on the Yankees 9-4. That one in the top of the 8th inning. No home runs for Aaron Judge in that one. He is 2 for 2 on the day. Meanwhile, the Phillies and Padres have been postponed due to rain. Same is true for the Nationals and the Tigers. Brewers and Mets also postponed due to rain. One note in the NBA, the Bucks are waiving Damian Lillard and stretching the remaining $113 million on his contract in order to acquire free agent Miles Turner. Turner has agreed with the Bucks on a 4-year, $107 million deal that includes a player option for year 4 in 2028-29.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Mariners with a big one last night. A lot of good things coming out of that one. And a man who I know was excited about seeing that, watching it, calling all the action. Does a brilliant job calling the games. You know him, you love him. He is with us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. He is the voice of your Seattle Mariners. Aaron Goldsmith is here with us. How are you, man?
Hey, good afternoon, guys. How are you doing?
Doing great. Good. Doing great. It was funny during the break. I could hear Matt talking to him saying, I appreciate you doing this. And so does Bob. Dave, not so much. And I said, well, Dave's still mad because you called him a psycho.
It's the best thing he's ever...
Why did I? I remember feeling very justified for calling
you were.
psycho.
You were.
But why was that?
Because he said you root for the team that beat you. So he was rooting for the Astros to win.
Oh.
So you were well within your right to call him a psycho.
I see where he was coming from. That just seems like a very specific situation that I think a lot of people would disagree with.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, it's one thing to psycho. That's fine. But psychopath, I mean.
Yeah, very different. Very different things.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. Hey, Aaron, are you running out of things to say about Cal Raleigh? I find, he hit another home run last night, and you come in, you're going, okay, what can I say about this that has not been said when he hit number 32 or 31? I mean, I'm just kind of watching, just like it's just amazing, and I hope it continues. I don't expect it, but I hope it does. But for a guy that's out there calling the action, how do you dress it up even more than you have to this point?
It is a really fun struggle to have to try to frame his season in the proper context and to try to really present as clear as we can with as many, truly at this point, as you know, historical examples for how one of a kind this season is becoming for Cal Raleigh. And I feel like for somebody who watches it every day, you can almost fall into the trap of, you know what, we have talked about this quite a bit. But you have to avoid that trap because you cannot discuss this enough, I don't think, because as we all know, these seasons don't come around often. Hardly ever at all. And he is having truly one of the all-time great first halves that this game has ever seen. And he's in a position, and we'll see if he can sustain it. That's the biggest question, right? But he's in a position to put together the single greatest season by a catcher in baseball history. And that's a really big statement. And that's actually 100% the fact with Cal Raleigh right now. And so it's been a really fun challenge for all of us in the booth, both booths with the Mariners, to try to come up with new ways of presenting how great this season is for Cal Raleigh. It's been truly one of a kind so far, and it's been an utter joy, as you guys know, to watch it each and every day.
Well, and Goldie, I know you get a chance to talk to him. The one thing I don't worry about with him, but we've talked to him several times, but you're around him quite a bit. He just seems unflappable. As far like if he has a physical problem, I mean, from wearing down, sitting behind the plate every night, you understand that part of it. But as far as it getting in his head or anything like that, he just seems like he is such a steady character. Is that the way you read him?
I think that's very fair. I think Cal changed in a good way significantly following his postseason clinching home run. He was very quiet, very tight with the media, didn't smile much, kept to himself. And it's amazing what a franchise-defining moment can have for a player, what it can do for a player, because that is certainly the case for Cal. He came back the next season following that home run of the playoff run, much more outgoing, much more himself. And you kind of, when you were around him that next year, you kind of thought, okay, yeah, this is kind of the guy that I thought that you were, but you were just too tight to show everybody? Because obviously that first year for him was a struggle. He was sent down. It's wild, actually, when you think about it, that his season, when he had one of the great franchise-defining moments in Mariners history, he was actually optioned down earlier that same year because he was so underwater at the plate. So, I mean, talk about just two complete extremes for one player in one season. And then, obviously, his career has just continued to blossom and grow from there. And he's been the same Cal Raleigh as a guy, at least from my observations, every day for years now at this point. And it's probably been pretty easy to be much looser because he has been obviously one of the great catchers in the game for some time now. And I think at this point, there's no discussion. He is the best catcher in baseball. But he is, I think the things that make him so good late in games, late and close games in particular, are what make him just such a coveted teammate and a player that the Mariners obviously wanted to invest in long term, because he just is so steady Eddie. I think it's just the way he is wired, and everybody is a little different in terms of their personality. And whether Cal's hit a home run in 5 straight games or doesn't have a hit in 5 straight games, he's just kind of the same, just easygoing guy every day. At least that's been my observation for a few years now at this point.
Aaron, how do you view this record as we approach the All-Star game? I mean, Barry Bonds hit 39 in 2001 prior to the All-Star game, and then you had McGuire with 37 back in 98. And as I sent you in a text last night to you and Ryan, they were both juiced to high heaven. So I look at that as those being a bit dubious, those numbers, but it is baseball. They do stand as records. We can go through all the semantics of it. But I look at what Cal's doing also based on the position he's playing and the demands of that position, but also doing it in an era where that's not part of the story of baseball, at least to our knowledge at this point. Sure. So how do you sort of square that with the guys that hold the records versus the guy that's chasing it?
Well, I think a lot of that speaks for itself, and it's fair to bring up. It's one of those things in my role, as you can understand, I think it's something that does need to be addressed here and there. At the same time, I don't want to be the guy who's every single night when we put a graphic up saying, well, you know, these guys were juiced out of their living minds when they were doing this. That's not fun for anybody. And I think those people who are listening right now and who watch on a regular basis, I think we all know that. And it does make it even that much more special for Cal Raleigh when you put into context the power that he is showing consistently to those who have been some of the all-time great home run hitters who obviously had some great assistance to what their power records were, and then add to that what he is doing from his position. And that's something that I think we did not maybe underscore quite well enough early on. And then I really went out of my way one night on the broadcast to let people know who maybe don't watch every day and don't understand why it's so special that he's doing this at his position. If you look at what's the slash line, and that is batting average, on-base percentage, and slugging percentage. If you look at the slash for every position on the field, from now 100 years ago, any time in that time frame, the catcher position has the lowest average slash line of any position because it is a defensive first position more than any other. And the wear and the tear that comes along with it, we all have seen it for Cal for years, all the foul tips and everything else that go along with it. So for him to post every day like he does, to be as effective as he is, and somehow just be able to flush what has to be just some excruciating pain on some nights, and to be able to swing like he does is pretty remarkable. And I think it's something that we take for granted because he makes it look so mainstream. And the reality is, if you go to 29 other towns, it's not mainstream. But he has set this new expectation that is impossible for anyone else to live up to. It's been just simply remarkable what he's been able to do.
Aaron, were you surprised when they pulled Kirby last night after 85 pitches? I mean, he'd thrown 90, 101, 96. Was that a plan all along, or was that a feel thing? And were you surprised by that?
You know, at the time, I was surprised by it simply based on what had happened recently, right? We all know about the 3 straight extra inning games and the bullpen being as taxed as it was. The pitch count did seem to be fairly in hand, 85 pitches. I was under the assumption that he would be going out for the 7th, and then we saw Spire beginning to warm up in the bullpen. But for whatever the reason was, the Mariners preferred the idea of Spire pitching in that inning. I'm sure that to some degree they're still being protective of their starters, especially a guy like Kirby, who I wouldn't say is just back from the injured list, but the injured list isn't that far in the rearview mirror. So, those guys in the dugout obviously have their finger on the pulse for everyone on the staff, both in the rotation and in the bullpen, and that's what they felt was the right thing to do. Spire was electric in his inning. He couldn't have been any more dominant. But obviously the long-term health of any of the starting pitchers, and George Kirby in particular, is of the utmost importance, and it certainly worked out well for the Mariners. And hopefully you're not finding yourself in a position where you wish you would have had that inning back from Spire, but it's very possible that that will not be the case. And the move worked, and they were able to, I wouldn't say cruise to a win, but they certainly got a win somewhat handily last night.
Yeah, I didn't get it, Aaron. That didn't make any sense to me at all, considering the shape of the bullpen. You've got no nights off, 17 games in 17 days, and you just, as you said, 3 extra inning games in a row. The bullpen's had to cover a lot. I didn't get that one at all. It worked out. That's great, but curious move at best, in my opinion. But let me ask you about Julio and your take on him. He's become a very polarizing figure with fans. Is
that right?
Yeah. They don't want to hear anything good about him. It's where they're kind of turning on him and don't call him a superstar. He's not a superstar, and that kind of stuff. And it's interesting to watch what he's doing because he's coming up with hits. He's getting on base. I mean, he's hitting 289 for the month of June. So he's got hits in 4 games, 5 of the last 6. Yet he's just beating the ball into the ground, and he's a singles hitter. And it's just for him to even get the ball in the air, I get excited at this point. But how do you view his season to this point? Because he got off to a much better start in terms of the home runs. That has cooled off. He's hit 1 in the month of June. So that has cooled off. It's just been an odd season for him where the numbers kind of say, hey, he's not playing poorly by any stretch. Certainly his defense is great. But how do you view the offense of Julio?
Well, the offense for Julio this year certainly has not been bad, but I think everyone kind of has their wildest dreams for Julio. And I'm sure that's true for everyone involved, including Julio. I don't think there's any question that Julio wishes that to this point of the season he would have lifted the ball more, pulled the ball more in the air, and launched more home runs. The wild thing is, what does he have, 11 home runs right now?
Yeah.
If he had, I'm just going to make up some numbers, if he had 4 more home runs and 4 more doubles, how much do you think that chatter quiets right now? I think probably a fair amount. I mean, if he's pushing 15 homers and has 4 to 5 more doubles, and that slug has gone up with almost 10 more extra base hits. Mm-hmm. That's what we're talking about, right? I mean, that's the difference. Mm-hmm. Would people love to see him have 33 home runs like Cal Raleigh? Yeah, of course. But we also can understand that that's an extreme, right? Mm-hmm. I think for him to be able to have the impact on a daily basis that he has, while not being maybe remotely close to what everyone thinks his peak could be, is a pretty impressive feat, right? And he has played to a Gold Glove quality defensively, and he's obviously an extreme threat on the base paths, not just stealing, but when he's at first base, he can score.
Yeah.
And there aren't a lot of guys in the game that you can say that about. But will he get to a point this summer, like we've seen year in and year out, where all of a sudden the ball starts to fly? I think everybody hopes so. I don't know what the issue is, but you're right. He's hitting the ball on the ground half the time. I mean, he's a 50% ground ball rate, and it's been that way for a while. In my book, I write down every day for every player their average, their on-base percentage, and their WRC plus. And it's a good way for me to kind of keep track of as those numbers go up and those numbers go down. And even when Julio had that great run of, he was hitting upper 300s in a stretch of 20-some-odd games, to your point earlier. Mm-hmm. His WRC plus didn't budge a whole lot. It was 109, 111, 108, 112. There weren't these great swings, and that's because he had a stretch where it was out of his last 20 hits, 19 of them or 18 of them were singles, right? Mm-hmm. And he doesn't walk a lot, so you're not going to get a huge bump in the WRC plus because of his on-base percentage, because his on-base percentage is so reliant on him getting hits, because he just doesn't walk a ton. He walks below league average, and he doesn't get hit by a ton of pitches. So it's not like an Arozarena situation where he's getting hit more than anybody in the league practically. So he has been a productive player, is my point. But yes, there's obviously a great desire from Julio and everyone else to see the ball fly. And I don't know if that'll happen beginning tonight or if it just won't happen at all this year. I think what we have seen is that the Mariners are pretty fortunate that Cal Raleigh's been just hitting bombs left and right like he has. But is Julio capable of it? Like, yeah, we've seen it with our own eyes as recently as every year he's been in the big leagues. It's just a matter of when can he start doing that consistently? And maybe that starts tonight. Maybe it doesn't happen until August. I don't know. But I know that it's not for a lack of effort on Julio's part, but we just haven't seen it as much as everybody would like.
Boy, Goldie, you talk about psychopaths. Trent Thornton. Just love that guy, man. And he is, other than Munoz, who's been like your favorite bullpen pitcher this year, as far as, just even, some of the like guys like Bizzardo, and yeah, I mean, it seems like there's lots to choose from, but other than Munoz, who do you love watching coming out of the bullpen?
Well, the easy chalk answer, if Munoz is off the list, is Matt Brash. I mean, it's amazing. Even when Brash doesn't really have it that night, which admittedly has not happened more than maybe once or twice, but even when he doesn't have, he's not a command guy, but when he's maybe spraying it a little bit more than he normally does, it's amazing. Even then, they can't hit him, right? I mean, he's just that good, and now he's incorporated a changeup for lefties, which, I mean, that now just complicates things even further if you're an opposing hitter. But Brash is so unique. I mean, just think about it. How many times do you watch a pitcher, a reliever on another team who you're like, that guy reminds me of Matt Brash? Never? I think never. I think never is the answer. I mean, you think like when the Mariners played the Twins, they've got a great setup man named Griffin Jacks, who's kind of a slender right-hander like Matt Brash. But he's like nothing like Matt Brash in terms of all the movement, the crazy spin. He's got a great breaking ball, but it still isn't to the level of Matt Brash. And that's not a knock on Griffin Jacks. It's just Brash is just such an outlier. But I think one of the guys who I've been just so impressed with watching their ascension this year is Carlos Vargas. I mean, Vargas, don't forget, he was not a guarantee to make the team out of camp.
Mm-hmm.
There was a guy who was out of options. If he didn't make the team out of camp, he would have had to be DFA'd. And I kind of got the sense that it was like, you know what? Let's break camp with Vargas because we can't keep him if we don't. And let's just see what he does. We're going to put him in the front of the bullpen. He's going to pitch in low leverage situations, up or down by 5 runs, and just see what he does with it. Give him a month. And, I mean, if you remember in that Tigers series, the second series of the year, he was pitching in just blowout, mop-up innings. And it was in that situation where I think everybody kind of took notice of him and said, wow, he's actually commanding the fastball, not walking guys, and been really nasty. And I think it's just such a testament to his mindset and his belief in himself that, I mean, he broke camp barely making the team and pitching in the farthest thing from a leverage situation. And now he's a guy who you're absolutely using in a leverage situation, and that's happened in just a matter of months. So good on him. You don't get a ton of opportunities in this game unless you are a top-tier prospect, first-round draft pick, the guy. Vargas wasn't going to have that long of a leash, would be my guess, and he ran with it, man. It's been a real joy to watch his progression, his development, and the Mariners have certainly needed him.
Hey, Goldie, before we let you go, we got the trade deadline coming up, and we'll see what the Mariners do. We're all looking for offense, and I'd like to see another bullpen arm as we're talking about the bullpen. But I'm looking at the infield of this team, and they don't get any production outside of Cal. And in certain spots, you're not counting on it. You're not looking at your second baseman, your shortstop typically, but your corner spots, you're not getting anything from. And this is not a knock on Ben Williamson, who's been phenomenal defensively his first year. I'm not holding him to that standard, but the reality is he's been sitting on 1 home run, 13 runs driven in for a long time now. You're just not getting any of that pop from your typical, production spots at first and third. And then you've got, Cole Young at second, who's doing a nice job there defensively, but he's not producing. You're not getting the damage you would like out of your infield. So do you see that being the two areas perhaps they address when they look for a bat in the trade deadline situation, or how do you see them addressing the shortcomings of the offense?
Well, the corners on the infield certainly seemed like kind of fertile ground for that. I'm with you on Williamson. He obviously did not spend much time at all in the minor leagues. I mean, think about it. Like less than 2 years ago, he's facing mid-major pitching. at William and Mary.
Yeah.
And now he's facing Josh Hader in the 9th inning. Right? I mean, it's a big leap. And to his credit, he's been able to keep his head above water, but he hits the ball on the ground a ton, doesn't pull the ball, and doesn't hit the ball in the air a whole lot. So he's not a damage hitter. And this is a hard game to make a living in long term if you don't have much of a threat for power. Now, we've seen some doubles from Williamson, and I'm not saying that it won't ever happen for Ben Williamson, but he's in his first go-around. I think it is pretty hard to have 2 rookies on your infield and make a deep run. That's not to say it can't happen. We've seen rookies impact any number of playoff teams, but that's a hard thing to do when you're learning on the fly like those 2 guys are, and you're not having a ton of power from first base. I think we've seen some nice strides from Cole Young recently. He dug himself into a bit of a hole. He was, 1 for his first 19 or 20 or whatever it was, and so now it's starting to come around a little bit for Cole, and we see he's been able to pull the ball in the air. He's been able to use the whole field. Almost hit one out the opposite way the other day in Arlington. So I think you're seeing some good progression there for a guy who, by the way, I believe Cole Young is the 3rd youngest position player in Major League Baseball right now. Jackson Churio and Jackson Holiday, I believe. If he's not the 3rd youngest, I mean, we're talking one of the 5 youngest position players in baseball. So let's just keep that in mind, right? But yeah, 1st and 3rd seem like the most low-hanging fruit when it comes to the deadline for the Mariners. They have as much trade capital as any team could possibly hope for. No team has more prospects in the top 100 than the Seattle Mariners. Can they find a partner? Can they find a trade partner who values what the Mariners have and the Mariners value what they have to offer? That's going to be the question.
Goldie, you're the best, man. We always appreciate you taking the time. Thanks so much for that. And even though you have to speak with a psychopath like Dave Wyman, you still cut it out of your schedule. So we very much appreciate that. It's not an easy task.
The joy and just the overall good vibes of Matt Nelson make up for it.
The joy. That's often the word we attach to Matt.
He loves the recognition, too.
He does. Matt's a real me guy, as we've all come to know over the years. Hey, we got a Pokemon night coming up at the ballpark, so I imagine we'll be seeing Matt here pretty soon.
Oh, sweet.
Not gonna lie, I was thinking about getting a ticket.
I love it. Goldie, we appreciate you, man.
Thanks, Aaron.
You got it, guys.
There you go. Aaron Goldsmith, voice of your Seattle Mariners. If you guys didn't catch all of that, you'll be able to find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Meanwhile, there have been some big trades going on in the NFL. Could the Seahawks be close to anything like that, or would you like to see them involved in that? We'll get into that next. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
And the 2-1 to Randy, swinging a fly ball into deep center field.
Back home with a bang.
He does it again. Randy Arozarena with his 2nd home run in back-to-back at-bats.
Tonight, Game 2 against the Royals at T-Mobile. First pitch tonight at 6:40. Wyman and Bob take you to pregame at 5:30.
Holy smokes.
On the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports, and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Bob Stelton here. Let me tell you about one of the best decisions I've made in my life, and I've done it recently. That's when I went to K2 Vision for RLE. That's refractive lens exchange. Now, if you're somebody like me who struggled with reading up close, I couldn't read menus in restaurants, read the receipts that came if I didn't have readers. And I had readers in every room of my house, had them in my car. And if I happened to forget to bring them into a restaurant, well, I was out of luck. But if you're somebody that struggles with distance vision, or you had what I had with reading glasses everywhere, K2 Vision RLE could be your perfect and, more importantly, permanent solution. And here's the cherry on top. You'll never develop a cataract. K2 Vision RLE is quick, it's painless, and I am seeing great without glasses or readers now. In fact, I'm reading some of this. I wouldn't have been able to do that before without the font being at a very big level. And now I'm able to do all those things. I'm able to read a menu without glasses and actually see the receipt. So RLE is just a game changer all the way across. I'm excited to spend my good active years not needing reading glasses. K2 Vision RLE gave me great vision that is permanent. The doctors at K2 Vision RLE have performed over 150,000 lens procedures. They know their business. So schedule your free Zoom consultation today. Totally free. Just go to K2VisionRLE.com. K2 Vision RLE. No readers, no glasses, no contacts, or cataracts. Again, that's K2VisionRLE.com.
Citizens, since we each upgraded to Xfinity in our homes, the Wi-Fi has been booming. It's fair to say our town has officially become a boomtown.
Mayor, will I be able to drop into multiplayer gaming battles with low lag?
The lag won't be an issue, but your questionable skills may be.
And what if I have hundreds of devices on the Wi-Fi? Purely hypothetical.
Seems like a lot, but sure, hundreds of devices all booming together with the Xfinity Gateway. Yes, friends and neighbors, with Xfinity, the Wi-Fi is booming.
The Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Now get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best-in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed. All in. Plus, get unlimited data included and no annual contract. All with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with X5 Complete required for unlimited data except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement $999.99 and qualifying ported. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay off via virtual prepaid card. Allow 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
It's our biggest event of the summer, the Putts Golf Sidewalk Sale. Thousands of items on sale on the best brands in the game and an unthinkable savings. Don't be left out. It all starts Thursday for 4 days only at Putts.
It's the Got to Go used car sales event at West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, June 27th through July 6th. Choose from over 350 used vehicles in stock and ready to move. West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, part of the Hazelwood Auto Group.
22 days until Seahawks training camp. And Seahawks training camp lives on the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Wait, if I work today, why should I have to wait 2 weeks to get my money? With Earnin, you can access your pay as you work instead of waiting days and weeks for a paycheck. Get up to $150 a day with a max of $750 between paydays. No interest, no credit checks, and no mandatory fees. Because, hey, it's your money. Download the Earnin app now to get it and join millions of people making any day payday. That's EARNIN. Earnin is not a bank. Access limits are based on your earnings and risk factors. Available in select states. Expedited transfers available for a fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Visit Earnin.com for full details.
Eric Johnson here. I covered a lot of accidents over the past 30 years or so, but I never got to say much about what to do after a crash. Be honest, do you know what evidence to collect, what pictures to take, what documents to request, or what you shouldn't say to your insurance company? The Washington Accident Book Series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the roads throw at them. Know your rights and how to avoid common mistakes after an accident by getting your free copy at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Hey, it's Mike Rohn. If I have a choice, I like to do business with companies that actually stand for something. That's why I switched from Verizon to Pure Talk. No offense to Verizon, I'm sure they stand for something. I just don't know what it is. Pure Talk, on the other hand, is a veteran-owned company that supports our military in a big way, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I also appreciate unlimited talk and text and plenty of data for half the cost of the big guys, and I do like being on America's most dependable 5G network for just $20 a month, but what I really appreciate is no contract, no cancellation fees, and Pure Talk's commitment to handle all their customer service in this country. I saw it for myself. I went to Georgia, I got a tour of their headquarters, I met their CEO, and I talked to the same customer service folks that you'll talk to when you dial pound 250 and say keyword micro. Switch today and save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword micro. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. Our thanks to Aaron Goldsmith, once again, who joined us in the previous segment. If you guys just tuned in and missed that conversation, you'll be able to find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Just click the podcast tab, scroll down to our picture, click on that. It'll be right there waiting for you. And don't forget, you can click subscribe. It's totally free, and it just shows up for you. You don't ever have to think about it again. So if you forget, you got a busy day, and you're like, oh, what did Wyman and Bob talk about? Did they talk about this? Did they address this issue? That's how you find out.
Okay,
right,
and if you can't do it, like I can't sometimes, I'll give you Matt Nelson's phone number here in 1 second.
Yeah.
And then you can call Matt, and he'll help you out.
Well, I mean, Dave is the expert at clicking links. He'll be able to walk you through this, no problem, folks.
Dave will say, here's what you do. Highlight everything. Do that first.
I think Lefko's going to agree with me.
I don't know. I don't think he will.
Do I want Lefko agreeing with me?
I was just about to say, are you proud of agreeing with Lefko?
Do you feel like you're on the right side of things if you're in agreement with Lefko? Come on.
He's traveling the world right now. He doesn't care.
He's out at Wimbledon. He's out there watching tennis.
Yeah.
How about that?
I mean, he's probably telling people pickleball stories. Some random person next to him. Yeah, I play pickleball back in. That's our state sport here in Washington.
I used to play tennis, but now I've graduated pickleball, and I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
And he's out. I'm just waiting to see a camera shot in the crowd of a George Costanza moment. There's going to be Lefko with like mustard and ketchup all over his face. He's eating something just sloppily falling onto his shirt, and it's all over his face, and the camera zooms in on him like they did Costanza when he was eating the ice cream.
Maybe he'll have his sleeveless yellow T-shirt.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
And the backward hat. Maybe some flip-up sunglasses like George had on. That'd be cool. All right. So meanwhile, we saw the Steelers and Dolphins making a big deal there. Minka Fitzpatrick being traded, Jalen Ramsey being traded, Jonnu Smith being traded. T.J. Watt is potentially on the block, we're reading. So you're seeing teams making moves with big names out there. Is there any envy? I wish the Seahawks were doing that. I wish they would go out and get this big. I mean, I'd love to have T.J. Watt. I don't know if it's a. I look at that as a luxury item. I look at him as I'd love to have him. Are you kidding me? He'd be better than any pass rusher they've got, in my opinion. But is it a desperate need? Not really.
No, I mean, you got right now at edge rusher, you've got three guys that are competing for two spots, right?
So who would they make what spot? Maybe you don't have to come up with a name, but what spot would you like to see him make a move? Like, they swung a deal for this guard.
Who was the guy yesterday? Brandon Scherf. Yeah. I mean, that one got me kind of excited. I think he's 32, 33 years old, but, he's played in the league. He's a multiple-time All-Pro. Yeah, I mean, look, and we've been told otherwise that they think they have the right guys here as far as offensive line goes, and they don't. I don't think they feel like they need more, but Schneider's always looking to have, a competition at a certain position. And, and also we heard that about corner, right? I mean, Mike McDonald after the OTAs is like, well, it's going to be a battle with the third, fourth, and fifth guys. And then they went and gotten Shaquille Griffin. So maybe that will be the case. I think that would be everybody's choice, that they get an interior offensive lineman. And I would say this.
Not as sexy as a pass rusher
it's
or
not.
Jalen Ramsey or anything.
But don't you think most people would say, get me a center? What if it's, particularly that position? I think centers can make, and I think Robbie Tobeck was a little bit humble yesterday, but we talked to him about, what a center means. And, he kind of deferred to, well, the other guys, this and that. But I mean, making the calls, a guy that's just on top of it. And, and they just, with Connor, was it Connor Williams? I want to say Williamson because of our guy Ben, but Connor Williams, the guy that they brought in last year, I mean, I don't know that anybody could have predicted that he would all of a sudden just retire. I mean, I think he was a much different person, but I was pretty excited when they made that move because he was a veteran guy. And I would I be surprised? I would be surprised based on what I've heard, but I mean, I certainly wouldn't. I would welcome that. And if there was one spot,
that's the obvious spot, right? The line. I mean, is there an obvious spot besides the O-line where you could say they needed to make a big splash there?
Inside backer, maybe. as far as just a depth guy.
move, though. You got your starters.
Definitely depth move. But
yeah, so it doesn't, as much as it is, there is I'll say for me as a Seahawks fan, I'm sitting there looking at those moves going, wow, that's pretty cool. Like if I'm a fan of the Steelers or a fan of the Dolphins, I might be feeling some excitement, or I'm a fan of a team that could be kicking the tires on TJ Watt if in fact he is available.
Yeah.
I
love TJ Watt as a player.
He's a monster. I mean, if they made a move like that, I'd be doing cartwheels. I would love it. But it doesn't represent a huge need. Really the biggest need and kind of only need outside of depth at certain spots, you got your starters, is the O-line.
Yeah.
I can't think of another position I'm going, if they don't do something here, we got a problem. Now, we may find that out as the season goes on. Maybe there will be other positions we're looking at going, okay, this is a problem. But as we sit right now, it's just the O-line. And it's not the whole O-line. It's a guard. It's funny that there was so much excitement and satisfaction with them drafting a guard with their first-round pick. That's where we've come. And if they were to go out and swing a big deal for a center, we'd all be like, oh, yeah, now we're cooking. Now we feel good.
I would love that. But I'll tell you what, I know that they really like Jalen Sundell. I didn't hear much as far as, and I don't think you could tell that much out of what happened at the OTAs when they're out there running around in, jerseys and helmets. But
especially in the trenches, right? I mean, on both sides.
But Robbie Tobeck yesterday was telling us, hey, we need a guy that to coach these guys that's very old school, and that's what they got. So, again, back to the coaching. We talked about that. I don't think there's been a year where coaching meant more. But, man, that center position, and maybe it's Olu. Maybe Olu can step up once the pads come on. That's when and Mike McDonald said it himself, that you're not really going to be able to tell until we get the pads on.
Right. One more thing quickly before the break here. I saw ESPN put out a 2026 mock draft.
Oh, my God.
They've got this.
These
First,
poor people.
Two things. They got him going O-line, offensive tackle Spencer Fano out of Utah. Mm-hmm. And they said it was surprising the Seahawks waited till round 7 to draft a tackle in 25, considering Abe Lucas injuries have created instability at right tackle. If that continues, Seattle could go with a tackle very early in 26. And then they talk about Fano and what he does well, all that. They have him picking 10th. Which tells me they don't expect a very decent season out of the Seahawks.
Yeah.
With a top 10 pick.
I tell you what, I took a look at this kid. Man, he is the irresistible force.
6'5", 304.
Yeah, and he just squares people up, and he's very, he plays the entire play. So just looking at him, and look, I'm looking at highlight films, but still, his upside is incredible. And I think he has the record for pancakes in a game, because I was watching the Oregon State game. It was ridiculous. So, yeah, I mean, I would love that. But, yeah, that was kind of weird that, they're number 10. We're going to be bottom third of the NFL as far as record goes.
I think we're still drinking the Kool-Aid, because I don't get the pessimism, but okay, I understand a little bit, but all right. Coming up, what does Bobby Bonilla think of Bobby Bonilla Day? Well, we'll hear what he had to say when we sweep the dial. That is coming your way next with Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Brock and Salk, morning 6 to 10.
Julio's whole deal of being simple is I'm going to swing.
The percentage of pitches that he's swinging at by season. Last year, 54.3. This year, 57.1.
Still puts the bat to the ball, but is that what you want to swing at?
His chase percentage is essentially exactly what it's been. So he's not swinging at a lot more bad pitches. He's just swinging at everything.
Brock and Salk, morning 6 to 10 on Seattle Sports.
When the heat's in 11, cool AC would be heaven.
Dayandnight.net.
Beat the rush. Act now before summer, because that heat's a real bummer.
Dayandnight.net.
Even though our Northwest summers can be spectacular, there's always a long, hot stretch that makes everyone say, man, AC sure would be nice. Well, except for that one annoying friend who won't stop talking about how great his AC is. Hi, I'm Bruce with Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. You can stay comfortably cool when those hot temps arrive. This is the time to plan ahead and call us about installing a high-efficiency AC or heat pump. Or if you have an existing system, we'll come and service it. Make sure it's running efficiently and ready to cool when you need it.
before the summer heat wave. Keep your house cool and safe.
DayandNight.net.
Stay cool this summer with Day and Night. Call now to get 10% off an air conditioner or heat pump. Plus, no payments or interest for a year OAC. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
DayandNight.net.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
John always listens to his truck. So when his brakes start talking, he goes to AutoZone, where a helpful AutoZoner gets him the right parts. If John has time to put them in, he borrows a kit with Loan-A-Tool. And if he doesn't, he gets a free shop referral. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool. Restrictions apply.
You gotta dip your chicken strips. Hey, this is Kiani.
And this is Tabitha.
And a little thing we love about Chick-fil-A chicken strips
is all the different sauces we can dip them in. I like to line up all my favorite sauces so that in every bite, I have a different flavor. Then with the tenderness of the chicken, the juiciness of it, it's all there.
And for me, I like to mix my sauces so I get a little tang and I get a little sweetness all in one bite.
That's what makes it for me. Like, that's what does it for me.
That's what I'm saying.
It's the summer of Chick-fil-A chicken strips and sauces. Order now on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hoped it'd go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So, I was taking my side hustle full-time.
Bold move, my friend.
And I needed to find everything in one stop.
Like finding Bigfoot riding a unicorn.
Yes, so I hit the Staples Easy button. Staples had everything for a new office and print services for signs and brochures. Plus, Cindy, the Staples associate, helped me find the best tech for me.
Wait, no drama?
No, Staples made it easy.
For the products, services, and experts your business needs. Staples.
That was easy.
In-store, online, and on the app.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
Scanning the airwaves for the most interesting and entertaining stories of the day. Sweeping the Dial. Every afternoon at 4:45 with Wyman and Bob.
Presented by Silver Reef Casino Resort.
Last night, Mariners GM Justin Hollander gave us an update on Polanco's injury status.
And the only other major league update, I'm sure you guys are wondering, Pola has not played in the last 2 games. Is out of the lineup again today. He banged his knee on that play at first base in Chicago. It swelled up a little bit on him later in the trip. He's been available off the bench if need be, but tried to stay away from the last couple of days. He'll be available off the bench tonight. He saw his doctor when he was in Dallas just to make sure that nothing happened with the knee that had already had surgery on it. Dr. Cooper felt good about where he's at, so anticipate him being available. We'll go tomorrow off the bench tonight.
Yeah, so in Chicago. Yeah. So I guess it's just one of those things. It's funny how, in baseball that there's lots of times where you don't know if a guy was hurt or not, and sometimes that's the answer for why is he slumping? Why hasn't he had a hit in, 5 games or whatever? And yeah, he's...
I was actually hoping to hear he's been dealing with something long before that because he's not been good since the end of April.
Yeah.
May and June. May was disastrous. June he's not been good, but he's not been as bad as May.
But that was all set up by how ridiculously hot he was.
Yeah, it's taken a hard left turn for him.
Yeah,
so
he was 139 in the month of May.
Well, in June, he's like 222.
Yeah.
He's got a sub 300 on base, and he's got 1 home run. Yeah, he's gone the other direction, unfortunately.
Sweeping the Dial.
Wilyer Abreu hit a grand slam and an inside-the-park home run in the Red Sox 13-6 win over the Reds last night. Here's Will Fleming's call of the inside-the-park homer, courtesy of the Red Sox radio network.
0-2 to Abreu. So for 2 tonight, but he's hit it hard. He drives one high and deep into right center field towards the Red Sox bullpen. It is back in. It is off the top of the wall, and it caroms into center field. This could be an inside-the-park homer. Abreu runs third. He gets the go-ahead. He comes home. Head first slide. Inside-the-park homer for Wilyer Abreu.
It's a pretty good call. Ball was kicking around. I was watching the highlights last night. I saw the ball kicking around there and rolled away from the outfielder. And he's got some wheels and made it home easily.
That's amazing. I mean, do we know when's the last time somebody hit a grand slam and an inside the park home run?
Well, he's the second Red Sox player since 1939.
1939.
Yeah.
He was the first
sixth in Major League history.
Roger Maris last did it in 1958. So
I'm guessing
it's been a while.
It's been a hot minute, yeah.
Yeah.
I was excited about this one. Shout out Will Fleming.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Great play-by-play.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Sweeping the Dial.
Here's Bobby Bonilla discussing his day with ESPN's Buster Olney on the Baseball Tonight podcast.
Well, I hear from a lot of people it's probably bigger than my birthday. Everybody knows that day more than my birthday. Listen, we've been doing it for quite a long time now. I'm kind of used to it. It's a lot of fun to have it, but it was done so long ago. It's just
more than 30 years, and you got more than a decade to go.
Well, don't be mad at me because of that, Buster.
Oh no.
It is what it is. It is what it is. It's just a great day. I just have fun with it now. I mean, I'm glad I did put the money away. And it's just a beautiful thing.
It did sound like Buster was yelling at him.
Yeah.
Don't be mad about it, Buster. It is amazing when you look back at it that the Mets could have just been done with it, give him $6 million.
Yeah.
Which back then was a lot more than it is these days. It sounds like a pittance in baseball dollars now, but the fact that they're paying him $1 million a year.
Well, again, I mean, I think that
it's been going on for, what do you say, 3 decades at this point.
There's lots of guys that blow through their money, so this is just a little regulator there. So you can get by with $1.2 million a year.
I could make it work. I could stretch it out. I mean, just think about it. He could, unless he lives a really lavish lifestyle, he could literally do nothing every day of his life and know that one day he's going to get that check for whatever it is after taxes.
I'm thinking with you, Bob, it would be big, heavy gold chains.
Oh, of course.
Probably.
Yeah.
With a big bob.
Sunglasses
maybe.
I'd wear indoors.
Sunglasses indoors.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be styling.
Fancy new motorcycle.
Maybe a few of them. Yeah, what a cool thing to know. Just know that I may never have a penny come in from any other source.
Right.
But I'm going to get $1.2 million a year.
That's a great question. I wonder what Bobby Bonilla is doing now, or just sitting around collecting checks.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he could have local endorsements. He could have, maybe he's, I assume he's probably got investments and things like that. Who knows? It's just, yeah, what a great deal. I'm sure his agent or whoever that was at the time said, I think this is the way to go.
Well, I think the important thing is that this is Matt's most favorite sports story of all time.
It is just so endlessly fascinating.
Do you have a second favorite sports story?
No.
There's probably one, but not one that I can think of.
Every other story is in last place.
Yeah, it's every other sports story, and then there's this one.
Yeah.
And it is amazing how many people. We had somebody text in earlier before we even brought it up saying, hey, it's Bobby Bonilla Day or Happy Bobby Bonilla Day. I mean, it's just become a thing, and it's funny to hear him say, yeah, I get more attention for this than I do on my birthday.
Yeah, I have one of those
people he knows.
Desk calendars, that has every, 4th of July.
Every holiday's on there.
Yeah, I wonder if it's on there. I haven't really noticed.
Should be.
Yeah.
It should. It's one of the great deals of all time.
Yes, it is.
I wonder if at the time it was like, I want my $6 million, man.
Yeah.
I wonder if there was any sort of push and pull with that, or if it was like, okay, yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah.
$1 million a year for the next however many decades. Okay. Or nah, I'd like that 6 right now. I need it. I got a house payment. I got cars. I got this, that, and the other. I'm going to need that 6 right now. And his agent said, no, trust me on this.
Yeah.
Just trust me. You're going to thank me every year. I hope he sends him a thank you card.
Yeah, it's the most unusual, transaction, I think, in all of sports. But I don't know, that one today, SGA.
Yeah, 4 years. What did I say?
million?
285. 285 million over 4 years, guaranteed. And we just talked about Damian Lillard, who was waived by the Bucks. He's got 113 million coming to him, and he's going to get every penny of it.
Yeah.
While he rehabs and takes his time to find out his next destination.
Well, that's chump change for the next guy that we're going to have in here.
Yeah, I'm surprised he even speaks to us with his wealth. I mean, the man with that kind of wealth to even acknowledge our existence is pretty cool. But we're going to hear his perspective on what we saw last night from the pitchers, from the hitters, everything. Charlie Furbush joins us in studio next with Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
And the 2-1 to Randy. Swinging a fly ball into deep center field.
Back home with a bang.
He does it again. Randy Arozarena with his second home run in back-to-back at-bats.
Tonight, Game 2 against the Royals at T-Mobile. First pitch tonight at 6:40. Wyman and Bob take you to pregame at 5:30.
Holy smokes.
On the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports, and the Seattle Sports app.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Motorcycle accident cases require a thorough investigation by a team of experienced legal professionals if they have any chance of being successful. Insurance companies, juries, and even the police tend to assume the worst about motorcycle riders. Get help from an experienced team of attorneys that have successfully resolved hundreds of motorcycle accident cases over the past 30 years. Call Davis Law Group for a free legal consultation or get my free book on motorcycle accidents at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com. That's Davis Law Group, better service and even better results.
Being the new kid in high school is hard. I didn't know if I would be accepted or if I'd fit in, because being known is key to who we are. Hi, I'm Peyton Seal. When I first came to King Schools, I knew something was different. My teachers cared about me. I have community. I'm learning who God called me to be.
Sign up for a tour today, and if you enroll, just mention this ad and pay no application fee. Visit joinkings.org for more info. That's joinkings.org, building resilient disciples of Christ through Christian education for 75 years.
Oh, oh, oh.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over at Xfinity. You know, change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, we know that change is all around us. Songs are rewritten and remade. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists, well, they come and go. Even our taste in music, as we get older, can change a bit. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same. And that is the price of your internet. That's right. Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Are you surprised? Well, life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Now, restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August of 2024. Go check it all out right online at Xfinity.com/deals.
You know what's faster than your paycheck? Literally everything. It's time to get your pay up to speed. With Earnin, you can access your pay as you work instead of waiting days and weeks for a paycheck. Get up to $150 a day with a max of $750 between paydays. No interest, no credit checks, and no mandatory fees. Because, hey, it's your money. Download the Earnin app now to get it and join millions of people making any day payday. That's EARNIN. Earnin is not a bank. Access limits are based on your earnings and risk factors. Available in select states. Expedited transfers available for a fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Visit Earnin.com for full details.
The countdown is on.
22 days until Seahawks training camp.
On the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports. 710 KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners get the big win in Game 1 of their series with the Royals. Game 2 coming your way tonight. They'll send Emerson Hancock to the hill against Michael Lorenzen. You can catch all the action in that one starting at 5:30 with the pregame show. 6:40 first pitch right here. Seattle Sports on 710.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
He's with us each and every week to give us some professional insight on what we're watching with the Mariners, good or bad. And last night was all good, and he's with us in studio once again. Mariners former reliever, part of a no-hitter, etched in history. His picture is painted on the wall. Is it painted or is it glued to the wall? There's a picture on the tunnel leading to the visiting clubhouse of all of the guys that were part of the combined no-hitter, including this guy, Charlie Furbush.
Yeah, and that's what you want when the competitors, the opposing team comes in.
Intimidation.
Charlie staring him down.
Just looking at him going, you don't want this smoke.
Yeah, you don't want none of this.
You don't want any of it.
Is that painted on there? How is that put up there?
That's a good question. I want to say it's a sticker. Maybe not a sticker.
It's a sticker.
I don't know.
That sounds
It's like a
cheap. Like
fat
this one
head,
here. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. You know those
it's
fat heads you put on the wall?
No, it's much cooler than that. They did a nice job with it. But all good things last night. I mean, the offense came up. The pitching. Let's start with the pitching because George Kirby had that one game, 14 strikeouts. We're like, he's back. And then he hit a little bit of a speed bump. And his last game, he was good. And then last night, 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, no walks, 5 strikeouts. And every inning was 3 up, 3 down, except for the third. Gave up 3 singles. They played to that run. Outside of that, no stress, 85 pitches. How come he didn't come out for the 7th?
I think it's
with your bullpen as ragged as they've been. I mean, they were getting used a lot. 3 extra inning games in a row, no days off.
Yeah, I mean it's an interesting situation, right? It's Kirby obviously still, I would say he's now fully back, right, from this injury, and what you're trying to do is protect him in the long run. And if you send him back out for the 7th and you give up a couple runs, then that quality start goes away. Then you start feeling like, well, maybe I shouldn't have left him in. And I think the Mariners have enough confidence in their bullpen that says, okay, let's have Kirby in on a high note, have him feel real confident moving forward. He is a huge part of this rotation. We need him to stabilize it, be healthy. And if we put him out there in another situation, I mean, it's easy to say at 85 pitches to send him back out there. But I think given his unique situation this year, it's probably best to, hey, you did a really good job tonight and you set us up for success. We're going to hand it over to the bullpen, and the bullpen got it done. So it's not necessarily a bad play. I think it's just getting a little greedy, knowing that he is capable of going 7 or even 8.
I guess it was more about the bullpen to me, about how much they've been used. They've been asked to cover a lot. And again, 17 games, 17 days. They don't have any days off. And last night they're going, well, who's available?
And how often are you going to get that from your starter, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
and it's just, and we look at his game log. He's had a game where he's thrown 101, another one 95. So he certainly exceeded 85 pitches. So it was just for so many easy innings. There were no high stress innings where there's traffic everywhere, and that would make sense. Every inning, 5 innings of 3 up, 3 down.
Yeah. I mean, if you really look at it, too, and you want to break it down even further, he threw 85 pitches. He threw 60 strikes. I mean, 15 balls. I mean, that's highly efficient. So it tells me that he is clearly accurate. He's feeling good, that it wouldn't, he'd probably get another clean inning. But I think just from matchup standpoints where he's at, it just makes more sense to hand it over to the bullpen, even though the bullpen has done a ton of work lately. That's what you do. That's what you're out there for, is to clean up the mess. Clean up whatever you got to do, whatever situation calls for. So I don't mind the move. I think it obviously didn't backfire. They still got to win, and it allows the bullpen to kind of feel more confident in situations where they know they have to come in and get the job done. Right? It's like, okay, we're expecting as a unit for Kirby to go out for the 7th, but we got to be ready to go. And obviously, Spire came in and struck out the side, so it wasn't like a bad call by any means. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. It worked out. I'm wondering also if there's some psychology there because like you said, it's like that they've been taxed the bullpen, but they're going to rely on us, and so maybe that gives you guys a little bit more confidence in the bullpen, and then maybe leaves Kirby a little bit hungry for the next one. Like I didn't see typically we'll see the pitchers hanging around in the dugout after. I didn't get a read on if he was pissed off, or I hope he was pissed, right? I mean, that's kind of what you want because he's got that fire with him. Did you ever experience any games where it's like, okay, they're kind of playing, I get it, they're trying to kind of motivate us in one way or another?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you're pissed because you're really at that point you're really satisfied and happy with your performance, right? So you, as a baseball player, and I'm sure as a football player, you're like, I just give me the ball, give me an opportunity, I'll do as much as I can, as long as I can. And as a pitcher, you're just like, I want to throw a complete game shutout every game, and you realize that that's obviously very unlikely, but if you're feeling good and you're on a roll and you had a bunch of 1, 2, 3 innings, I want to go back out there again. I'm rolling right now. In terms of the adjustments that I need to make, there aren't that much. So, you get a little, I think, I don't know, maybe the word is like butt hurt, you know. You get a little like you're like, I just really want to be back out there, but
butt hurt,
you know, because you just want to be successful, and you feel like you're already doing everything you should up until this point, and or more often than not they'd give you another opportunity. But yeah, you also gotta realize that, okay, I did my job and I gave my team a really good chance to win. And the bullpen came and got it done, and it all worked out. So you can kind of be a little bit greedy and wanting Kirby to do more, or as Kirby himself maybe wants to get out there and pitch more and pitch deeper into games. What I keep saying from a pitching standpoint is health is wealth. So the longer you can stay healthy, the more money you're going to make. And if this is going to allow him to build confidence moving forward, I think it's just going to set himself up for the second half of the season, which he's going to be such a vital part of the rotation.
Yeah, this bullpen has done a nice job as of late. I know Vargas gave up the home run in that game the other night, but he by and large, been very good for this team. They've, again, been asked to do a lot. Starters have not gone that deep yet, outside of Brian Wu, who's been ridiculous. We'll talk about him. But we were talking to Ryan Rowland-Smith yesterday and just talking about needs for this team as we approach the trade deadline. And I said, you know, I'm looking at offense. You're getting no production from your infield other than Cal. You're not getting it from anywhere, really. And certain spots you don't really expect it out of your second baseman. He's a rookie, and JP is not a home run hitter, but you're not getting it from your corner spots either. So they have needs offensively speaking. I think they do need a bullpen arm, but for Ryan, his priority was a bullpen arm. What would be your priority?
Offense, for sure.
Yeah.
I think the bullpen is always a good place to point to, and believe me, I'm biased. I'm a bullpen guy, so.
Yeah.
I see the value in adding another arm down there and just running into situations. Hopefully everyone stays healthy. If everyone isn't healthy, then you're adding more depth. You're adding a high leverage guy that can come in situations and get the job done. But I still think that the way that the Mariners are going to win, I think, is just by having a little bit more offense. Now that the rotation seems to be coming back with Gilbert and Kirby and hopefully Miller, it just says, okay, we see what happens when the pitching does what they're supposed to do. They, kind of annihilate offenses. But there are games where we don't score any runs, or we score one run, and it's like, oh man, if we just could scrap together 2, 3, 4 runs, that's all you feel like you need that night to win a game. So I'm on your side on this, Bob. Like, I need some sort of impact bat that's going to make this lineup feel more dangerous from a pitching side. Okay, maybe I know I have to deal with Cal, who's on another planet right now, and you still have to honor Julio's talent. But then when you get into that second half of the lineup, yeah, there's been games where they have shown out great and they've done phenomenal, and Cole Young and Solano have really stepped up. But having somebody else that they can't really skip over, I think would really change this lineup. Randy's obviously done a great job as well lately. But, whether it comes to a third baseman or a first baseman, I think that would be the ideal target right now of getting somebody that either is a rental or controllable. I mean, that's going to be kind of a tough one to figure out, because if most likely you're going to have to give up a prospect. So there's a bunch of control. So ideally you're probably going after a 1, 2 first or second year guy in the show that maybe would be a good fit. I was actually thinking about it earlier today. The first baseman for the Royals, Vinny Pasquantino, is another guy that's under team control. He's got some pop, hits from the left side. I don't know what the return is or what you give up to get a guy like that, but just another guy that kind of fits maybe an area of need for the Mariners.
Hey, as far as the bullpen, and I asked Aaron Goldsmith the same question. I probably should have excluded Matt Brash, but also Andres Munoz, just because those are the two obvious ones. I feel like Matt Brash, more than any other pitcher, just entirely confuses hitters. Like, you see some of the most ridiculous swings out of professionals. That's what just blows me away. But I guess other than those two guys, who is somebody that you've really admired coming out of the bullpen?
It's a good question. I do want to give Matt Brash some credit, because everyone knew he's always been a high octane, high strikeout guy, and he was like that in the minors as a starter before he made his way into the bullpen, and now he's done remarkable things. And to come off an injury, an elbow injury, and really not know how you're going to feel, how your production's going to be. This dude's got 17 and a third scoreless innings right now, right out the gate. Like, and it's. I feel like he's flying under the radar. I feel like people are just like, oh yeah, we got Matt Brash. He's just amazing, and does awesome things and makes hitters look foolish.
Does
like
awesome
literally
things.
Yeah, and it's. I think in a lot of ways, you put him on another team, he's the closer.
Yeah.
Like he's that good. His stuff is that good. There's a reason why these guys look foolish up there. They're like, this is the first time they see that slider. It's like a wiffle ball. They're like, I've never seen a baseball move that hard at 87 miles an hour and just dart away from me. You can just see the uncomfortable feeling that hitters have, and they're just like they can't pick it up. They can't. They try to stay on the fastball, and then he throws this brand new 90-mile-an-hour changeup, and it's like, okay, that thing just dropped off the table. You got that too? Oh my, this guy's incredible. So. Yeah. I just want to give him a plug because he deserves it. He's done really, really good this year, and it's even more impressive coming off an injury. But to answer your question of who else in the bullpen that I value or that I've looked at and said, I'm continued to be impressed by. It's hard to not point to a guy like Vargas and where he started and where he is now, and his stuff being arguably as good as anyone else on the team, right? When he's on, he's throwing 100, and it's pretty fun to watch. So, and I'll give my guy Spire some love too, because he's the only lefty in the bullpen, and that's a tough job when you're the only left-handed pitcher in the bullpen, and your job is to come in and get left-hand hitters out.
Right.
And he has done a pretty good job this year. Like, and I think that's just another element to this bullpen that allows you to have more success when you have guys that are coming in the 6th and 7th that have high octane stuff that can get the job done.
What do you say about Brian Wu? 16 starts, 6 innings at least in every one of those starts. And he was unfortunately a victim to the lack of offense the other day. He gave up 2 unearned runs, should have been out of that inning. JP, not sure what happened on that throw, but it cost him, right? Runner safe. Corey Seager comes up, hits a home run. There's 2 unearned runs when they should have been out of the inning, but they lose that game in extra innings 3-2. That was just they had 3 quality starts in their final 5 games on that road trip. They lost 2 of those 3.
And this is the reason why they need a bat.
Exactly
You know
why.
what I mean?
But Brian Wu, who was one of those, unfortunately, he's been their guy. He's thrown more innings than anybody on the team, and he's been rock solid. And we were talking about this yesterday. If we came into the season and asked you, out of the 5 starters, who do you worry about injury with the most? My answer would have been Wu, as high as I was on him and pumping him up before the season because of his history. And he's been the most durable of anybody to this point. We'll see, still a lot left, but it's just amazing what he's done to this point.
Yeah, talk about the leap from year 1 to year 2. It's like that's the athlete that I'm seeing. He's continuing to learn and get better, and now he's in a place you can tell there's like I think a level of comfort on the mound that he is in control now. He understands what he's doing. He knows how to attack hitters, and he's able to mix his pitches up. And it really helps that he has this kind of smooth, easy delivery. So there's not that much to it. So when he's out of whack, he can correct it real quick and get back on track. And ultimately, this is like an all-star caliber season for him right now. So he's definitely going to get some votes. Would not be surprised if he's in the game at any point, whether it's by getting in because of his performance or voted in because of a situation where a starter pitches the day before and they can't go in the All-Star game, right?
Yeah.
So
he's sitting at 2.93 right now for his ERA.
Right. I mean, just look at that in the top 10 rotation or starting pitchers in the league. I mean, he's sitting right up there as one of the best guys in the league. And, when you look at how ultimately how important he's been for the rotation. We can talk about all the other guys, but he actually has been the most important person in this rotation this year because of what they've dealt with, because they weren't relying on him to have this Logan Gilbert type season, right? They were just like, you're the 4th or 5th guy and we want you to continue to do what you're doing, and this is great.
Yeah.
But now you run into a few issues and Kirby goes down and Gilbert goes down, Miller goes down. Now you got Wu and you're like, oh man, is he do we think he's capable of taking that next step? And boy, has he shown it. Like, his guy is taking a whole new level of pitching. And when you run together, when you run as a starter, it's really difficult to continue to throw 6 innings plus each start. You know, I always go back to in 2014 when Felix, I still think he should have won the Cy Young that year, but ends up losing to Kluber. He had, I want to say, someone, I'm sure Matt can find this. It's like 20 or maybe it was 18 games in a row of 7 innings pitched, 2 runs or less given up. I think he broke like Tom Seaver's record that year. It was incredible. Like that's such an amazing feat to be able to pitch deep into games, game after game, and not have to really run into much struggle. So I'm impressed by everything he's doing, and it really just like I said before, he really is I think the most important part of this rotation because of what he's done this year and his ability to continue to go deep into the game and allow the bullpen to get a night off. I know we talked about the bullpen earlier too, and that's the one thing that I did want to plug because I forgot to mention. Last year, the Mariners bullpen threw the least amount of innings in the league. That's why, because the rotation was insane.
Right.
You know, so now they're having to be worked more this year, and they're challenged more than they have been. And yeah, you're going to run into situations where you're playing 17 games in a row, and guys got to throw 3 out of 5 days, and that's just how it goes. And you got to, strap up and let's go, right? If I need to take an ibuprofen, I will, Dave. You know what I mean?
No drugs, Charlie.
That's right. Well, ibuprofen. I mean, come on. It's all good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I just continue to tune in every time Wu pitches because I feel like he's the type of guy that would not be surprised to see a complete game out of him this year.
It seems like also he's got like a level of ferocity now that he didn't, and it's kind of fun for us. We get to interview. We interviewed him when he was a rookie, and he's just kind of wide-eyed and everything. And now all of a sudden you see that he's got a little bit of I don't know,
fire.
Yeah. And he also confidence just to he's a veteran now. Do you remember going through that and being at a point where it's like, hey, I got this game.
That's a funny thing you say because like when I was playing, I felt like it. I don't know when is it official that you go from rookie to what's the next phase, the intermediate phase, and then you're a veteran, right?
Yeah.
Like I felt like I was a rookie in 2011, and by 2013 they were like, yeah, this is the veteran in the bullpen.
Yeah,
I was like, what?
I've been here 2 years.
Well, and I think for
not
me,
paying me like a veteran.
Yeah,
my paycheck says otherwise.
Why don't you pay me like a veteran? But yeah, I mean, I felt like in the NFL for me, it was like my third year. My first year was a total rookie, and then second year, kind of like, okay, it's my. But yeah, by your third year, you find that
that's 11, 12, 13. My third year, I was like, okay, and I think that you couple that with your performance on the field, your relationships inside the clubhouse with your teammates, like it kind of can go pretty quick. I felt like in terms of honestly kind of turning into like a leader, right? Like maybe not the captain or whatever, but there's always leaders inside a clubhouse and guys that are more vocal that can, rally the team together. And I wouldn't say that I was, that to a T, but I definitely had, glimpses of leadership that suddenly were brought on, not by my choosing, but just kind of being there at the right time and then realizing that this is a really important thing to have, in our team. So, it was certainly fun.
Do you ever have moments where you look at, whether it's Wu or anybody else out there and they go out there and pitch a gem. Offense doesn't do anything that night. Internally, I know they're not going to outwardly say anything because there are nights that they need to be picked up by an offense. But are there those moments as a pitcher in your head you're like, for the love of God, get me a run. Just get me, like, you're just frustrated because I'm dealing here. I'm holding this team to 1 run, 2 runs. I mean, again, the other night, 2 unearned runs. Is there frustration that creeps in that you don't verbalize?
I think there can be frustration, but nowadays, especially in the modern world, I'd say wins as a pitcher just aren't as important. Does that make sense? Like
right.
When you're looking at it and then you're going into contract
just losing the
negotiations.
game, not that you took the losses on your record, but like, man, I gave us every chance to win this game and we lost because my offense couldn't play to run from third base with no outs.
But it's kind of getting frustrated with the things you can't control.
Right.
I mean, so that's the thing that it's just not a good place to be think that, I have any influence over what the offense is going to do tonight, right? It's like I have to do what I can and control what I can, and if the team performs well offensively and it lines up tonight, then we can all collectively, increase our value, and I get a win, team gets a win, all that stuff. But you realize that you don't have any control over it, and yeah, it's a team game, but you're relying on a bunch of other individuals to perform and execute that night, and sometimes you go against a Brian Wu. You go against somebody that lights up the lineup, and you got to tip your cap and say, all right, well, we got beat. We play 162 games. There's a good chance we're going to get beat. So it's just kind of part of it, and you don't really get caught up in the nuance of, I wish the team scored more runs, or, oh, man, I'm really frustrated that they didn't get it done tonight. And I think what ends up happening is that can kind of spiral internally, and then you honestly can kind of become a bad teammate because of it.
Yeah.
You end up saying, I'm more concerned about the benefits that'll happen to me because of us winning, more so than just the team winning, no matter what. Like that the only thing that matters is the team win. And if we lose, then you know what? I didn't pitch good enough. Right? Like that's like kind of the mentality. It's all right, well, I need to pitch better. And
it's frustrating to watch him get shut down by pitchers that are coming in struggling. Like Kumar Rocker comes in with an ERA a shade under 7 and then just shuts him down. Lowers his ERA to 6.13 after that game. You're just like, come on, man. I'm all for tipping a cap, and hey, that guy's really good. But it just feels like very often it'll be a guy who's been getting his tail kicked by everybody else and then faces the Mariners, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, hey, this guy was dealing. What are you going to do? Like, well, nobody else seemed to have a problem with what he was dealing.
Yeah, so. It's a good point. It's a good point.
Well, I think, to your point, as a pro, like I've told this story a million times that in '92 when we had that really good defense and our offense sucked. They were the 5th worst in NFL history. I don't ever remember going, those guys suck. They need to get better. It's like, how can we get better? And I remember our D coordinator yelled at us for holding the Raiders to under 185 yards, and we lose 20-3 because our offense is terrible. But that's being a pro, right? Everybody is like, hey, I can do better, right? Then you're not really looking at sitting around, because I feel like the guys that go, I wish they'd help us out on the other side don't last very long.
No, it's the same thing in baseball. It's like it's not a good mentality to have, throughout the season. So yeah, you end up weeding yourself out of the clubhouse real quick.
We'll come back, talk more about this offense and what this Mariner team could do come the trade deadline. We got Charlie Furbush in studio with us for the hour. Stay tuned for all of it coming your way with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
ESPN senior baseball insider Buster Olney on Brock and Salk.
What do you make of this Mariners team in general?
There are just so many teams in the middle, and they're almost to the point that it makes it hard to define them all. I think the Mariners actually have one of the better chances to break out of that pack because of their potential ceiling for their pitching. Once they get that in order, their centerpiece star is having the greatest season that we've ever seen from a catcher in the history of baseball.
Hear the full interview on the Seattle Sports app and the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Are you trying to buy a new home, or are you a local real estate agent seeking financing for a client? We're all tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and endless guidelines. Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi, I'm Scott Rureka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. We've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the Legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
Progressive knows we all crave validation.
Girl, you are not 37.
I would have guessed 27.
You guys are too sweet.
Sure, dewy skin. Terrific.
Is something wrong, Ned?
Why would you ask? Just because today marks my 10th anniversary without a car accident or even a speeding ticket? But somehow, tonight's all about your skincare. Wow.
With Snapshot from Progressive, you can get a personalized rate based on how you drive. And that's all the validation you need. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hoped it'd go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
The Golfapalooza of the summer. The Butts Golf Sidewalk Sale. Titleist, FootJoy, TaylorMade, Callaway. The biggest names at 50 to 70% off. It's your time to save, and it all starts Thursday at Butts.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here from my friends at PCF Group, or People Come First Construction Group, and that's exactly what they did when we made the call a couple years ago. We wanted to redo our outdoor space, wanted to add a deck, an outdoor living, a television, and a kitchen. And PCF Group, wow, they more than delivered. And if you're interested in building a stunning outdoor area like we did, I cannot recommend them enough. Reach out before the good weather arrives, and their schedule, well, it's going to fill up. So whether you're looking for a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you covered. Design now and pay later. In fact, get 12 months, no interest and no payments, and up to $6,000 off and a $1,000 Amazon gift card. Request a complimentary design and estimate consultation at 425-629-8476 or project ideas. Explore photos at pcfgroup.com. That's 425-629-8476.
Tired of sitting on your suitcase? 2 words: packing cubes. Sometimes a different way is the better way. Like the SR 509 Expressway, an alternate route that'll help manage congestion on I-5 and other local roads. Now open and free through summer.
The home of the Mariners.
Left off to center. It is on its way. Julio, 2-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line, $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement, $999.99 and qualifying forwarded. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay off via virtual prepaid card. Allow 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We got Charlie Furbush in studio with us as we do each and every week, spending the hour with us talking Mariner baseball. You guys can text in 866-979-3776. We talked to Aaron Goldsmith earlier, as we were telling you. Asked him about Julio Rodriguez, who's become so polarizing with fans. Like, doesn't matter what he does. He has 3 hits in a game. He didn't hit a home run. Stinks. Don't call him a superstar. But he's had such an odd season in that you look at his numbers and go, well, he's not. I mean, he's hitting almost 300 for the month of June. He hit 289, 320. The problem is they're all singles. He's beating the ball into the ground. And as a pitcher, I'm wondering what you see. Like, I feel like pitchers don't fear him. I feel like he can be had, right? He's not covering the fastball. He's chasing off speed low and away. He's out in front of off speed. That's, all these grounders. What do you see as a pitcher? do you fear him, or do you look at him and go, right now I got this guy's number?
I'd say somewhere in between. I don't know about got his number, but he's, seemingly, I wouldn't say morphing his identity, but what we're used to seeing is maybe some more swing and miss and some bigger home runs, driving the ball in the gap. And yeah, I think he's trying to make more contact this year and lower his strikeout rate as best he can. And use his legs to get around the bases. It's not a terrible idea. It's not a terrible approach, but I think, it puts you in a tough situation, especially from our perspective. It's like, all right, you're batting in the 3-hole. You should be doing damage. You should be, doing all the things that a typical hitter does in that role, and not to mention where, you're being paid.
Yeah.
So I kind of look at it like, all right, well, what if, let's just play a scenario out. If Felix was, or I was just talking about Felix, if Julio was, didn't get handed the contract and was still like, whatever millions he's making this year, it's, fair market or whatever, and going through the arbitration process. Like, I don't think the conversations around him are nearly as scrutinizing as they are right now, because it's like, okay, you're being paid that much, so we're expecting you to be Cal Raleigh. We're expecting you to have this all-star caliber season every single year. And, it's just tough to kind of watch, unfortunately, because you want something to happen so great, and that this player has the capability, arguably MVP caliber capability, year over year, based on what he can do, not only from the offensive side, but clearly he's one of the best defensive center fielders in the game. So, where he's at and how he is approaching each at bat, I think is a little different from a pitching side. I just think that he's not the guy. I mean, you always got to kind of honor him and worry about him a little bit, but it's not the guy that you're going to let beat you, right? Like, okay, or you don't let Cal beat you, but you're okay if Julio attacks a few pitches and does some damage, because ultimately he's not doing that right now. So you can kind of get away with it, right? One home run in June, So
yeah, I mean, he leads the team in hits. He's got 89 hits. Problem is he's got 26 extra base hits in total. Everything else is singles, and everything's a grounder. And some of them he squares up, hits hard. The other game before last, he had 3 hits, all singles, but they were all over 100 miles an hour. So I was like, okay, at least he's squaring, he's barreling up the ball here.
Yeah,
and then. I don't know. It's an odd season. Like I said, he's getting on base. The hits are happening, but it's like Ichiro. They're all singles.
He didn't take that next step, right? That you expected from the Texas
and maybe
series.
it's any day now. I mean, he typically has that hot streak we all talk about where he'll go on a tear for a month and look like the best player in the game. Just hasn't happened.
Yeah, I mean, I think that July and August will be his best months. They tend to be like the best time he plays. The offense tends to heat up more. I would suspect that we're going to see more power more frequently than we're seeing now. It's in there. He can hit a 450-foot homer with ease.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of getting a pitch that you can hit and doing damage with it and not missing your opportunity. So right now it's seemingly – he's kind of doing a lot of different things, but the one thing he isn't doing is hitting the home runs we're used to seeing. But you mentioned the team leader in hits, like that's significant. He's not a bad baseball player by any means. I think it just, when you look at him as a whole, you want him to be really, really great, and it's tough when he has an 0 for 3 night and 3 strikeouts, right? It's like, oh man, what's going on there? Like, are you mentally beat, or did the pitcher actually beat you there? Or when you look at the at bats, did you miss 2 pitches that you should have hit?
Yeah, I feel like he's fouling off those ones you look at and go, man, that guy just gave him a cookie and he fouled it off. And
and that's what you may realize, that's the only opportunity in the at bat you had. is the pitcher left one ball to hit and you fouled it off, or you didn't swing, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a bunch of ways it goes, but that's you may only get one good pitch that you can hit and do damage with. Otherwise, you may have to fight throughout the at bat and might have to hit more singles. They're obviously pitching him in a certain way, so he's trying to be as competitive as he can to get on base and not strike out. But I do think it's like maybe impacting his power a little bit. But at the same time, as the weather gets warmer, the ball flies a little more. The Mariners' offense always typically plays a little bit better second half of the year. Yeah. So he's going to be a catalyst to the offense. We look at the last few years, the team went through Julio, right? Like if he was playing well, they were going to win. So I don't see how that scenario doesn't play out again, right? If he continues to stay hot and have two 3-hit games, and you couple that with some power and some runs batted in, then it's like, okay, this is. And then you have Cal doing what he's doing, and hopefully Randy continues to stay hot. It's like, okay, this is a pretty formidable offense, and like I said in the beginning, I think you're kind of one solidified bat away to make this lineup kind of dangerous.
Well, it's funny. We talked to Goldie about that, and what was his numbers that he said, Bob? He said, imagine if he has 4 more home runs. What are we talking about here?
15 home runs. And
now he's got 15 home runs, 4 more RBIs or 5 more RBIs, or up to, around 50. Then all of a sudden, you're kind of like, so is sort of, I don't know, it's not desperate or anything like that, but, I mean, it seems like maybe it's closer than we think with Julio.
Absolutely. It's way closer than you think. And that's the thing that he's going to, I think, forever have to battle internally, is like the weight of the expectations that are put on him, right? Yeah. And I think it's a tough thing to take on as a young kid. That, okay, here's the keys to the city, the organization. Let's run it. We're going to ride and die with you, Julio, and it's a great play. So I really hope that Julio has a stretch of super, super strong games that we can all be reminded of. Oh, that's Julio. That's why this guy is amazing. So,
well, we do see it every year. We're just waiting for it.
I think we're waiting
to happen.
We're waiting for a good stretch too, right?
Yeah.
I think you've seen it in a game or two where you've had a decent game, and you're doing what we think you're doing, and you look at the StatCast numbers, and you're hitting the ball hard. A lot of 105, 107 mile an hour singles, but still you're hitting it hard.
Yeah.
So maybe angle that up a little bit and get some more pitches to hit. And
it's just a weird year looking at his stats, because you wouldn't look at it and go, wow, he's really stinking.
Didn't we say that last year though?
Yeah.
We looked at it and we're like, oh, it was a weird year. Oh, he had 275. Oh,
yeah.
He had, okay, wait, weird. What are we talking about? Weird year? That was a good year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
He leads the team in hits. He's got the second highest WAR on the team.
So we should be talking a little more positively about him, right?
Yeah, but it's just you expect more. He's been propped up as being more, and he's being paid to be more. Now, he's not getting superstar money by baseball standards. He's the 3rd highest paid player on this team behind Castillo and Cal. So he's not getting the traditional, there's a lot of money being made if he reaches. He's got a ton of incentives, but he's got to play well to reach those. So his salary right now is not superstar salary. For those that are like, he's getting paid as a superstar, he stinks. He's not being paid as a superstar. He's making good money, no doubt, but he's still he's got the 2nd highest WAR on this team, and we're talking about him as a disappointment. So it's I don't think we're being unfair and saying, look, it's great, you're getting on base, you're coming up with base hits. You are in there to do more damage in that 3 spot. You're not there to sit there on first and hopefully somebody drives you in.
Yeah, I guess the question is, at what cost, right? Like, is he change his approach just to go all in on hitting homers, or is he thinking that this new approach of how he's hitting this year and maybe getting on base more and getting more singles, could I use that and learn from it and then only change a couple things, and then I just start running into the back of the ball more frequently?
I'd take a few more strikeouts in exchange for some more damage.
Yeah.
Again, at what cost? Like, right? I think there are times where we have looked back in a scenario where Julio comes up, 2nd and 3rd, 1 out, bases loaded, no outs, and strikes out.
Yeah.
Right? Like, in my mind, that's unacceptable.
No, you're right. So we saw it this year where the top 3 struck out with the bases loaded. There was nobody out, and JP, Cal, Julio all struck out.
I think there's got to be a little, balance to both sides of it. It's like, okay, if we only want homers, then you should, in theory, then your average should drop significantly as well, right? It's like, but I think that he's such a capable of a high average, high homer, like high production player.
Because we've seen it.
We've seen it. And when he has the tools, he has tools that other players don't have. He does things that people can't do. So and I'm sure you've seen this, Dave, when you have a football player that you're like, this guy is unbelievable. Physically, he's a freak of nature at that age. It's kind of one of the things that you go, I just got to sit back and watch the show here. This is insane. So I just look at Julio the same way. I'm sure you run into the athletes that are just absolute studs, and certainly more athletic than you and I. You know what I mean?
Hey, whoa. What are you talking about?
Dave's never seen a better athlete than him. It's never happened.
Okay. Well, if you've seen me run, Dave, then you may know that I'm not the best athlete. So.
All right, coming up, what do the players think of the All-Star break? We'll ask Charlie about that. He's in with us for the hour. That's coming your way next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
And the 2-1 to Randy. Swing and a fly ball into deep center field.
Back home with a bang.
He does it again. Randy Arozarena with his second home run in back-to-back at-bats.
Tonight, Game 2 against the Royals at T-Mobile. First pitch tonight at 6:40. Wyman and Bob take you to pregame at 5:30.
Holy smokes.
On the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports, and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Bob Stelton here, and let me tell you about one of the best decisions I've made in my life. I went to K2 Vision for RLE. That's refractive lens exchange. Now, if you're somebody like me who needed readers in every room of the house and had to make sure you remembered to bring them into a restaurant so you could read the menu, read the receipt, this is the answer for you. Also, if you struggle with distance vision, K2 Vision RLE could be your perfect and, more importantly, permanent solution. And here's the cherry on top. You're never going to develop a cataract. K2 Vision RLE is quick, painless, and I am seeing great now without readers. It allows me to, again, do simple things like seeing the text on my phone without making the text size ridiculously big. I can read menus. I can do all those little things we all take for granted. RLE is a game changer, and I'm excited to spend the good active years out there not needing reading glasses. K2 Vision RLE gave me great vision that is permanent. And the doctors at K2 Vision RLE have performed over 150,000 lens procedures, so they know what they're doing when it comes to RLE. So schedule your free Zoom consultation today, totally free. Just go to K2VisionRLE.com. K2 Vision RLE, no readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts. Again, K2VisionRLE.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED, because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds, through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs, with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
It's our biggest event of the summer, the Putts Golf Sidewalk Sale. Thousands of items on sale on the best brands in the game and at unthinkable savings. Don't be left out. It all starts Thursday for 4 days only at Putts.
It's the Got to Go used car sales event at West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, June 27th through July 6th. Choose from over 350 used vehicles in stock and ready to move. West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, part of the Hazelwood Auto Group.
Need a new roof but not in the budget? A new roof doesn't have to break the bank. Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Right now, State Roofing and Exteriors is offering 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's 2 years with no payments while getting the protection your home deserves. But this offer won't last forever. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to get on our summer schedule now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Underestimating the trucking industry is one of the biggest mistakes I see victims and other lawyers make. Trucking companies have an army of lawyers and experts who act quickly after an accident to protect the company. Only an experienced trucking accident lawyer can navigate the complicated federal and state laws to protect your rights. If you or a loved one has been injured in a trucking accident, call Davis Law Group today for a free consultation or get my free book on trucking accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
The home of the Mariners.
One hopper snared at short. On a quick hop by J.P. Crawford. That guy's a magician over there at shortstop.
Seattle Sports.
Download the Seattle Sports app.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Save no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
It's interesting. We got some questions here that our producer, Matt Nelson, put on the sheet for you, which feels like it's rubbing salt in the wound because we're talking All-Star break, and he's just making the assumption you were just never an All-Star. So what did you think of the All-Star break back? What did you do with the time off? Because you weren't playing in the All-Star game. So
it's true.
What were you doing?
It was
seems kind of mean, Matt.
No,
Okay, that wasn't the intention of the question.
There was a year or two that I was like, in contention for maybe getting on there, but I did make the minor league Florida State League All-Star game, so that was cool.
There you go.
Nice. But I pitched the day before, so I didn't even play. So I just sat in the game in the dugout. But what I would normally do, it's a good question. So I
thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. I did go home once. I realized that was a bad idea because I live in Maine and that's way too far away.
Yeah.
So I think that was in 2012, and then it's a good time to just hang out and rest and recover. I mean, that's like one of the things that you just don't get much time is downtime during the season. So most of the time I'd hang out around here if I was here. Maybe made a trip out on Lake Washington on a boat. It was always a good time. I know a handful of guys actually would make the trek over to Lake Chelan and go rent a house on the lake, and family and kids do that for a day or two. So anything to kind of reset your mind during the All-Star break and just kind of prep yourself for the stretch run, the second half. It's a I think you even talk with guys that make the All-Star game, and sometimes they're like, "Oh man, I wish I had 3 days off." You know what I mean? Like,
they're envious of you.
You're like, "Oh,
you're lucky you didn't make it."
Yeah. I'm like, "Are you sure about that?" So, but that's what it is. It's that game ends, they fly to Cal will fly to Atlanta, do the home run derby, do the All-Star game, and then you fly out and you're like, "Oh, back at it again." So
yeah,
it's
no
kind
time
of
off
no time off, and the turnaround is so quick. So I can see why the jealousy exists because they're on, and in a lot of ways, it's easy to complain about rest, but it's one of the things that they get to do, or any All-Star. It's going to be one of the lifelong memories, one of the arguably best seasons of your career you'll have. That's why you're in the All-Star game. So such a memorable experience, and it was always so much fun to be in the clubhouse when they would announce the players, and you'd be in there, and it's like, all right, who's you may have an idea. Obviously, like in this scenario, Cal will definitely get in, but then who else is going to get in? Who's going to get voted in? And we're always hoping and pulling for a guy that maybe wasn't a regular name, like a Charlie Furbush, Matt, of course.
Yes,
so
that's right.
He's ignoring you now.
Well, I always said
I'm making cuts. I'm sorry.
Cold cuts.
Yeah, I went to the Pro Bowl one year. I had great seats. Dave Craig got me some tickets. And,
nice.
Yeah, but I happened to be in Hawaii. But no, I mean, you're right. I can imagine, especially, it's kind of like the bye week in the NFL. And for me, I never wanted to sample anything that was too much like the offseason because you're kind of committed to the misery of the season and baseball, the grind, right? So you don't want to get too far away.
I like how we describe it differently, the grind and the misery.
Yeah. That's right. Hey, when you were growing up, when did you decide I'm going to be a pitcher? And at that point, who was somebody that you looked up to or wanted to model your game after?
That's a great question. So my older brother was kind of like he was the first pitcher in the family. My dad played college baseball and encouraged us to play baseball for sure. But I got to see what my older brother could do and was just super impressed. In a lot of ways, he is a much better athlete than I am. But as a 9-year-old was when I first realized that I was going to be a pitcher. And I think the biggest reason, what I was told, was that I threw strikes. As a 9-year-old, it's not that easy to throw strikes.
Yeah,
so,
you don't know where it's going.
Yeah, that was one thing I was always able to control where it was going, which allowed me to continue to enjoy it and have some success out there. So I remember that. I remember being like, oh, wow. And it was also unique that I was left-handed. Just didn't realize there was only 10% of us on Earth, so it made me feel always made me feel a little weird. But when I was young, I realized that the pitching was going to be a good part of my future. Although I was still playing first base on the side. I was
at 9.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You were crushing the ball.
We want to fast forward. I was hitting my first 2 years in college.
Yeah, were you good?
Before I transferred to LSU. Was I good? That's up for debate. I was good. I think my freshman year, I think I hit like 390.
Did you ever have an at-bat
That's
in the
pretty,
major leagues?
Respectable.
No, I got the closest I got was in Denver too. We're playing the Rockies, and I'm like, oh, this is the perfect time to hit. I don't care if he's going to tell me to bunt. I'm totally going to go for the fences here. The ball flies here. Like I'm
turning the fan on.
I will.
That's it.
Yeah. At this point, I'm like, I'll get sent down to Tacoma for this. I don't care. Like I'll do whatever for a
He's
homer.
going to ignore the third base coach. No, I'm not bunting. No. I'm swinging away.
So I'm in the on deck circle with my helmet on. I think I grabbed Seager's bat or Justin Smoke's bat, and I was like, it doesn't matter anymore. I'm getting an at-bat. Here we go.
Going.
And I saw, I guess, 1 or 2 pitches in the, on the on-deck circle, and then Lloyd McClendon was the manager. He looked over. He's like, Furbush, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm going to hit. He's like, no, get your rear back here. I was like, no, I'm going to hit. And he's like, get your back here. I was like, okay, all right, fine. I'm not gonna fight you there. But I got pinch hit for every other time. But I do have a few batting practice homers. I think I have 16 in my career.
Wow.
One of the first ones I ever hit was actually off the foul pole. Only foul pole home run I've ever hit was at Safeco, now T-Mobile.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that you had a batting helmet and it was probably nice and shiny, no marks on it. Never got used.
in the spring training, they give you the pitchers 2 bats and they put your name on it, pick your model, and pick your weight and everything. And then you go through, I guess, batting practice, and it's mostly bunting practice at the time. It's like So that's one thing I do miss. I wish, because there's always the athletes, like Shohei Ohtani's of the world. Like, they're pitchers that can hit. You know what I mean?
Rarity,
you look
though.
at a Zach Greinke, a Madison Bumgarner. These guys were studs. I mean, Bumgarner pinch hit in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's a rarity, though. Usually it's an out. It's like, all right, is this guy going to be able to get the bunt down? It's an automatic out.
Bob, don't rain on his parade. He's going through.
I'm a fan of the DH.
How many pitchers or how many position players turn into pitchers, right? I mean,
yeah.
It's not that. It's a rarity.
Just saying, I'd rather watch the DH than the pitcher go up there. Charlie, as always, great stuff, man. We'll do it again next week.
Looking forward to it, guys.
Thanks, man.
There you go. Charlie Furbush in studio with us every single week talking baseball. Always great stuff. If you missed any part of it, you can find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Meanwhile, how does El Hombre, Michael Bradley, celebrate Bobby Bonilla Day? We're going to find out. We'll ask him. He's going to join us next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
And the 2-1 to Randy. Swinging a fly ball into deep center field.
Back home with a bang.
He does it again. Randy Arozarena with a second home run in back-to-back at-bats.
Tonight, Game 2 against the Royals at T-Mobile. First pitch tonight at 6:40. Wyman and Bob take you to pregame at 5:30.
Holy smokes.
On the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports, and the Seattle Sports app.
There's a sink at the brink and a drain that's a pain.
Dayandnight.net.
The old throne's not too well, and ooh, does it smell?
Dayandnight.net.
Slow drains, backed up toilet, is your main drain or sewer clogged? Hi, I'm Bruce, General Manager of Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. Over the past 70 years, I think we've seen every drain clog out there. If your pipes aren't draining from a small fix to a major repair, our sewer and camera inspection will show exactly where the problem is. I promise you, our experienced technicians will find the issue, the right solution, and do it at a fair price. Give us a call or visit
Dayandnight.net.
I guarantee whether Day and Night is your first choice or your smart second opinion, we'll work harder than anyone to earn your trust.
If you have a drain that's slow or clogged, call Day and Night. Now you'll save $50 off any drain cleaning. Slow or clogged drains? You know where to go.
Dayandnight.net.
You know what's faster than your paycheck? Literally everything. It's time to get your pay up to speed. With Earnin, you can access your pay as you work instead of waiting days and weeks for a paycheck. Get up to $150 a day with a max of $750 between paydays. No interest, no credit checks, and no mandatory fees. Because, hey, it's your money. Download the Earnin app now to get it and join millions of people making any day payday. That's EARNIN. Earnin is not a bank. Access limits are based on your earnings and risk factors available in select states. Expedited transfers available for a fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Visit earnin.com for full details.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
John always listens to his truck. So when his brakes start talking, he goes to AutoZone, where a helpful AutoZoner gets him the right parts. If John has time to put them in, he borrows a kit with Loan-A-Tool. And if he doesn't, he gets a free shop referral. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool. Restrictions apply.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time. The next time you're out to dinner with friends, you can order the shrimp cocktail for the table. And maybe you'll realize it only comes with 4 shrimp after you've already given away 3, but that one shrimp will be so good. And if you switch and save hundreds, you could get shrimp all the time. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shrimp. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. Are they a reliable service? How will I know if something happens? Are they keeping everyone safe? At Bay Alarm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bayalarm.com today to talk to a local security expert.
The countdown is on.
22 days until Seahawks training camp.
On the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports. 710 KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners take game one of their four-game series with the Kansas City Royals, looking to make it two in a row tonight when they send Emerson Hancock to the hill. He'll face off against Michael Lorenzen. You catch all of the action starting at 5:30 with the pregame show. 6:40 first pitch right here, Seattle Sports on 710. Taking a look at the rest of your scoreboard right now. Marlins out to a 1-0 lead over the Twins in the top of the seventh. They're headed to the bottom of the fifth in Pittsburgh. No score between the Cardinals and Pirates. A's and Rays tied at 2 apiece in the top of the fourth. They are in a rain delay in Boston right now in the top of the fourth inning with the Red Sox up 2-1 on the Reds. No score between the Angels and Braves in the third inning. Still to come, the Orioles and Rangers in Texas. Cubs host the Guardians. Rockies play host to the Astros. Diamondbacks and Giants get together, as well as the Dodgers and White Sox. One final on the day. Blue Jays hammer the Yankees 12-5.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
Yeah, you know what you can get me, Pee-wee? What? El Hombre. That was a catastrophe.
I know.
That's a new low. Roz is better. El Hombre. The natural meets Rudy meets... I don't even know how to describe it. El Hombre.
He's here, everybody, every Tuesday at 5 o'clock, barring being preempted. We bring in this man for a conversation on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. He's the one, the only El Hombre. Michael Bradley is here with us. How are you, man?
Well, so I'm standing in a bar at Cape May, New Jersey. I'm on vacation with my family, and my pants start to vibrate. And I'm like, oh, who's calling me? And I'm like, oh, shoot, I got to go on the radio in Seattle. So I've already had 2 gin and tonics and 3 beers, so this is going to be a good one.
Oh, boy. All right, get the dumb button ready. Stay alert, everybody. Stay alert.
And probably when you were a younger man, your pants were buzzing for another reason. But, yeah, I'm glad we could provide that for you.
Now, how often do we call on the Phillies as Mariner fans for anything, Michael?
Yeah.
Ever? And
listen, look, I can't do anything about this one. We let up like 4 runs over the course.
You scored 1 run in 3 games.
Exactly. They had an ERA. The starters had an ERA of 1.37. The Phillies scored 1 run. Listen, I know we didn't help you out. I'm terribly sorry. Raleigh hit his 33rd home run the other day, was serenaded by an MVP. This is the reason, as people go, hey, I think the Phillies are a real World Series contender. No, they're not. You got to win 3, maybe 4 series to win the World Series. You can't have your bats go completely dead. Now, granted, the Astros have a heck of a pitching staff, but this was pathetic. It was horrible.
Yeah, that's rough. When your team gives up a total of 5 runs in 3 games and you lose, you're outscored in those 3 games 5-1. More importantly, the serious question is, what is your takeaway after seeing the Astros? Do you look at them and say, That is a really good team, or because they're sort of propped up as the best of the bad in the AL West. The AL West not being a great division, and they're the best team in that division. But what was your feeling about that team?
They are. Here's the thing, and this is why they're so scary when the postseason comes around. They've got 2 to 3 starting pitchers who can give you 5, 6, 7 innings, and their bullpen is lights out late. They've got a bunch of high leverage arms that can really do the job. That's why they're so scary. Their offense, they got to get some people moving, but they're going to be a real problem. And I know everybody loves the Tigers right now, and I really hope that they do something because it's been a long time since they've really, really been good. And Tariq Skubal's unbelievable, and he's going to get 2 starts in a 7-game series. But playing the Astros is tough because they're always going to be in the games because their pitching is so good.
Hey, I heard an interesting question today. What if Cal Raleigh was on the Yankees and Aaron Judge was on the Seattle Mariners? And you switch those two around. Do you think it's just a slam dunk that it's Cal just because of the market, or because what he's doing is pretty amazing?
Yeah, but, we talked about this last week. He's a catcher, and that's tough. You don't get a lot of MVP catchers. I think Johnny Bench was an MVP. I think Thurman Munson was an MVP. There haven't been a lot of other catchers who've been MVPs. So that's the first thing you got to worry about. The position is a problem when it comes to being an MVP. Secondly, as you said, the market. So if Aaron Judge were mashing 60 to 65 home runs, it wouldn't matter if you were in Madagascar. People would still be paying attention to it. Now, I'll tell you, Raleigh hit 60 home runs. It's going to be tough to say, this guy is not MVP material. But the Mariners have to get close to they can't finish third. They fall behind the Rangers in the West. All of a sudden, people are going to be like, okay, they got a great player, but they stink. So you got to stay close to those Astros.
Yeah, well, they're 6 games back. We're clinging to that third wild card spot right now by 2.5 games, which seems the more likely path.
But get into the wild card, and people will say it. Hey, Raleigh was the real reason they got in.
Yep.
He's the most valuable player. And again, he's got 33 dingers. Now, after the All-Star break, things start to happen to people's bats. All of a sudden, they turn to silly putty. They don't hit the ball as hard. You know what I mean? You see guys that were bananas before the All-Star break, and all of a sudden they go into August 1st, they've hit 2 more after so he's got to stay hot.
Well, and people fear that
is he in the home run derby?
He is, and that's what I was going to ask you, because that's the fear. Everybody's afraid of what happened to Bobby Abreu, and you know better than anyone.
Abreu and a lot of other people.
Yeah, he was the most notable.
Yeah, but Bobby Abreu wasn't a real home run hitter. He had maybe 30 a year. Here's what happens. The best thing that can happen to guys, especially catchers, take 5 days off. Now, he's going to be in the All-Star game. I mean, there's no question. Whether he starts or not, he's on the All-Star team. This is a nice little respite for guys who get to take 5 days off and then recharge, rejuvenate. He's going to be buzzing around the whole time. It's going to be a tremendous experience. I would never take it away from a guy like him because, just to be able to say big dumper all the time at the All-Star break is a lot of fun. Right? It's great, right? That's what my friends and I used to say about women who had larger ends. That's a big dumper. Now, so that's a thing. We were not too happy about that, but we love this guy. So let's hope that he can continue it.
Yeah. Hey, Michael, real quick, everybody knows you as So Long Suckers, but you said you're on a family vacation. What do you got? Who's on vacation? What are you guys doing?
This is great. So my wife and her family own a house in what is known as Cape May. And if you look at a map of New Jersey, it's got this little thing that dangles down there at the very bottom of the east, and that's Cape May. I'm not a big Cape May fan, and we can get into what the Jersey Shore is about to me. It's about walking 3 blocks to the beach and then drinking at a dive bar. This is more of like a resort. It's not my kind of place.
Okay.
Like, we're out, my wife and I are out tonight. It's our anniversary. It's our anniversary. They say, I'm talking to you guys. My anniversary's tomorrow. How about that? So anyway, that shows you the loyalty. I don't ever hear any crap about that. And your sales staff should be selling that to the people so that I can get paid again. But anyway, my one son is down. His girlfriend is coming down tomorrow. She had to go back to work. My other son comes down with his wife and their child, who's now going to be 3 months on July 6th. So I can't wait to see little Michael, my first grandson. And then my other son is flying in with his wife from Chicago late Wednesday night, so I'll be seeing him Thursday. So this We're going to have a full house, 9 people. And I told my son, you want to go to the beach? Fine. I'll sit with the little guy the whole time. I couldn't care less.
That is awesome, man. You're going to love that. I just became a grandparent, and
Congratulations.
I was like,
That's the best.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't want to be a grandpa. My dad used to always say, hey, I don't mind being a grandpa. I just don't know how I feel about sleeping with a grandma. That didn't go over well, but
That's really nice. What do they call you?
Papa.
I'm Pop. I like that. I wanted to be called the Grand Poobah, but I was afraid the kid couldn't pronounce that, and I would just be called Pooh. So I'm going to wait till he's about 2, and I'm going to say, call me Grand Poobah.
Grand Poobah. There you go.
Hey,
and that's from the Flintstones. He was the head of the lodge.
That's right.
Fred and Barney belonged to.
Hey, Michael, what is your take on Bobby Bonilla Day? Every year he gets $1.2 million from the Mets, and he could have received a payout at the time of $6 million, and that would have just ended it. Instead, he's been paid since 2001, and he'll be paid until 2035 when he'll be 72 years old. And we had a texter. We were talking about what a great deal that is, and he's guaranteed $1 million plus a year. And there was a texter saying that's a stupid deal by him because $6 million back then was worth a lot more, and if you invest even at 6%, he'd be way ahead right now. I don't. There's something that's about the security of decades of $1 million plus a year that I would take over that lump sum.
And not just that. Who would be talking about Bobby Bonilla right now if he wasn't getting $1.2 million on July 1st? I love it. And if I were Bobby Bonilla, every July 1st, I'd be like, I'm going to go buy something stupid for $200,000. Okay? I may buy a Lamborghini this year. I may buy a timeshare in pick a place, Mongolia next year. I don't care. I'm getting $1.2 million today. This is great. Can you imagine you're sitting there on your phone, like looking at your bank account, waiting? It's 12:01. Boom. It hits. There it comes in. There's your $1.2 million or whatever it is after taxes. I love it. I sent my son a picture today. Somebody posted on the internet machine a picture of Bobby Bonilla's face on a $1,000 bill. And I just sent it to him, and I said, Happy Bobby Bonilla Day. Yeah. And he's like, it's always a great day.
And he's still got another decade of being paid.
Yes. Isn't that unbelievable? And I'll tell you, I love that. You're right. If you took a lump sum in 1996 and you invested it, blah, blah, blah,
blah, blah, blah.
No.
Yeah.
Give me the $1.2 million every July 1st. I can bank on that. I can budget for that.
Yeah.
All right? So let me enjoy it.
Yeah, it's like it's insurance for in case I go crazy or I do something stupid.
Yes.
So, yeah,
You're right. And I'm going to tell you something. One of the best deals ever made was made by Allen Iverson's agent. When he signed his deal with Reebok, his agent said when he turns 50, he gets $10 million. And they knew that Iverson was a spendthrift. He was very generous. He was paying 97 cell phone bills, and he'd go to Applebee's and have a $30,000. I don't know how the heck you do that with potato skins and Miller Lights. But he would have like a giant bar tab at Applebee's, right? And when he turned 50 this past year, he got $10 million. Great job by his agent.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I actually had a much smaller version of that, but my agent set it up that way, and it was awesome. And geez, I thought you could buy an Applebee's for $30,000.
Yeah, what's he doing there?
Could.
Yeah,
he would bring everybody in, and he would just sit there for 5 hours and buy everything.
Yeah.
It's like the movie Diner. Hey, Earl, does that include the chicken Maryland? Yes. That's the whole left side of the menu. Way to go, Earl. I mean, that's pretty much what he was doing.
Oh, that is so funny. That is great. Applebee's. He's spending Applebee's on me, everybody.
Yeah. It was either Applebee's or TGI Fridays.
Right.
One of those really high-end restaurants, Michelin star.
Wasn't some highfalutin restaurant, though, steakhouse or anything like that. That's great.
No.
Do you ever, we're without the NBA out here, so we don't talk about it much or pay much attention to it, but there's a weird sticker shock when you see some of the deals that are there and realize that every dollar is guaranteed. And we just saw this new deal that SGA signed, 4 years, $285 million, 4-year extension. And he already signed a 5-year, $179 million deal prior to that. He's 26, and in the final year of this deal, his salary will be almost $79 million. It's just insane.
No, and I'm sorry. And I'm going to tell you something. By 2030, someone's going to sign a deal that has an average annual value of $100 million because of the new TV deal that the NBA signed. That's going to push the salary cap higher and higher and higher. So we're all sitting here gasping at $79 million, and in 5 to 6 years we're going to be going, this poor guy is going to be eating beans every night and ramen because he didn't get the $100 million annual average value.
Eating beans and ramen. Poor guy.
Poor son of a gun. He's just such. It's too bad. But no, it's look. I always say, and I've said it on this program a million times. Always root for the millionaires against the billionaires. If the millionaires couldn't afford the $79 million contract, they wouldn't pay it. But they can. How much did the Lakers just sell for? $10 billion. Okay, that's how much money's out there.
It is crazy for that league because I often hear the critics talking about, well, look at their attendance isn't great, and the viewership isn't great, and it's making it sound like the league is really struggling. Yet these paydays are being handed out left and right to players that are good, not great, are signing 4 years, $100-some million, and it's just lunacy.
And it's not lunacy because here's what it is: it's the economics. People forget. You know how much money Sylvester Stallone used to get per movie back in the 90s?
Was it 20?
$20 million.
Yeah.
$20 million. So who is he, Olivier? What means this, Rambo? He would stand there and grunt and take steroids, and he'd get $20 million, and nobody would bat an eye. But a basketball player gets the money that is coming in, it raining down upon. Talk about make it rain at the club. How about make it rain in the NBA from the TV money? These guys are making money like crazy. And by the way, the WNBA just expanded to 3 new teams, Cleveland, Detroit, and Philadelphia over the next 5 years. They took in $250 million per franchise, which is 4 times what the Valkyries of Golden State paid last year. So even that's starting to get a little bit out of control. So I don't want to hear anybody complaining about the player salary. The owners are doing just fine.
Yeah. Well, and I do think, honestly, a lot of people are like, well, I can't act. I could never do that. But, shoot, I can shoot a free throw or I can put a basketball
exactly.
through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. You look at SGA. What is he, like 6'5", 198 pounds or something? He is kinetic energy in a singlet, right? It's unbelievable what he's able to do, and he brought a championship. So Oklahoma, think about the money they made just in the playoffs from selling tickets and merchandise and parking and hot dogs and all that stuff. And it's like, I believe we can hang out with you fellas for a few years at $78 million.
Oh, so good. So good. He is El Hombre, Michael Bradley, with us each and every week. You find him right here. You also find him on Twitter at Daily Hombre.
Thank your family for us.
Yes, thank you for putting your vacation on hold for a few minutes to speak with us. Now go get back to business and drink yourself silly out there.
Grand Poobah.
Happy Independence Day, suckers.
There you go, everybody. On vacation, no less. There he is.
He's a different Michael Bradley there.
Yeah, well, he's a little loose.
Relaxed,
A little loose. I think everybody's finger was hovering over the dump button there.
Yeah.
But there you go. All right. Let's quickly find out what we learned.
This is a house of learned doctors.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
What did we learn today?
No one's a bigger idiot than me.
Stupidity is the easiest way out.
What did we learn today, Matt?
So many things. First off, we learned why Aaron Goldsmith thinks Dave is a psychopath.
During the break, I could hear Matt talking to him saying, I appreciate you doing this, and so does Bob. Dave, not so much. And I said, well, Dave's still mad because you called him a psycho.
It's the best thing he's ever...
Why did I? I remember feeling very justified for going.
Oh, you were. You were.
But why was that?
Because he said... you root for the team that beat you. So he was rooting for the Astros to win.
Oh.
So you were well within your right to call him a psycho.
I see where he was coming from. That just seems like a very specific situation that I think a lot of people would disagree with.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, it's one thing to psycho. That's fine. But psychopath, I mean.
Yeah, very different. Very different things.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. I like him trying to be nice about it. That's right. I could just see a lot of people disagreeing with that. You're a psychopath.
Yeah, that was kind of surprising at the time.
Did he say that?
Yeah.
Was it? Or was he just right? Was he just saying what we were all thinking?
He said, Ryan Roland Smith, for whatever reason, remember we were trying to figure out Logan Gilbert, how he got the name Walter.
Yeah.
And so Ryan brings it up on air. It was like game 1 or game 2, and all of a sudden my name's on the broadcast. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Why is that? And and then he was like grumbling like, yeah, well, nobody knows opening day rosters like Wyman. And he was giving me a hard time. Like,
how confident are you in your source?
Yeah, that's what it was.
He says, I give it 50-50 at best.
50-50.
What else did we learn?
We also learned what Lefko is doing in London this week.
He's out at Wimbledon. He's out there watching tennis.
Yeah.
How about that?
I mean, he's probably telling people pickleball stories. Some random person next to him. I play pickleball back in. That's our state sport here in Washington.
I used to play tennis, but now I've graduated pickleball, and I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
And he's out. I'm just waiting to see a camera shot in the crowd of a George Costanza moment. There's going to be Lefko with like mustard and ketchup all over his face. He's eating something just sloppily falling onto his shirt, and it's all over his face, and the camera zooms in on him like they did Costanza when he was eating the ice cream.
Maybe he'll have his sleeveless yellow T-shirt.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
And the backward hat. Maybe some flip-up sunglasses like George had on. That'd be cool. I wonder how he's dressed out there. Is he sophisticated, or is he looking like the common unwashed in his cut-off sleeves and belly shirt?
Are you supposed to like dress up for Wimbledon, or I don't know?
I'm not sure about the protocol there.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I think you have to wear white or something like that. Maybe
I don't
it's
think
just
that's.
the players.
I don't think that pertains to the fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
he's not going to be on the court. He's in the stands.
If he's on the court, there's a problem.
It's too fancy for Lefko.
Yeah, he's not sophisticated.
Yeah, I just saw him
enough
when he came walking out with the police, like the cop glasses. The other day.
His aviators.
He had the cut-off T-shirt and shorts, and I'm like, man, you look like a hillbilly from Florida.
Did we learn anything else?
Yeah, we got time for one more quick one. Earlier today, when we were talking about SGA's crazy contract, we learned how Dave would spend his theoretical fortune.
I would spend a lot of money to try to research a way so that dog pee does not kill grass.
See, I thought you were going to go the other way, like how you can extend the lives of dogs, and they've got a nice long life.
That's fine.
Instead, you're worried about what they're doing to your grass. And somebody said, just don't buy Dave anything breakable.
Oh no, I wouldn't have to worry about that. Just buy another one.
Yeah, break it, buy a new one. Dave would research a cure for brown grass.
Yeah, lots of people have texted in that like, oh, if you feed them this kind of juice or tomato juice or whatever. No, none of that works.
You think that's hokey nonsense?
Totally, because if there was something that could stop that, it would be we'd see it at Costco or Home Depot or whatever.
Like I said, you and my dad would be first in line.
Yeah, well, and whoever came up with that would be paid like an NBA player.
That's right.
Basically, make
That's
a lot
right.
of money.
Hey, the Mariners are hosting the Royals tonight, and the T-Mobile Park roof will be open. It is a beautiful day outside. Mariners Roof Report brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. That is going to do it for us. Want to thank our guests today, Aaron Goldsmith, Charlie Furbush, and El Hombre Michael Bradley. If you missed any part of today's show or any day for that matter, head to the podcast page at seattlesports.com. Just click the podcast tab. Scroll down to our picture. Click on that. And anything you missed is going to be waiting for you right there each and every night. You got Game 2 coming your way next. We're going to talk to you tomorrow right here with Wyman and Bob. Seattle Sports on 710.
And the 2-1 to Randy. Swinging a fly ball into deep center field.
Back home with a bang.
He does it again. Randy Arozarena with a second home run in back-to-back at-bats.
Tonight, Game 2 against the Royals at T-Mobile. First pitch tonight at 6:40. Wyman and Bob take you to pregame at 5:30.
Holy smokes.
On the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
Hey, get in. What? Who are you? I'm future you. Constipation with belly pain still coming back? Yeah. Mia, our doctor figured it out. She said it's irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, and Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Hold up a sec. If I work today, why should I have to wait 2 weeks to get my money? With Earnin, you can access your pay as you work instead of waiting days and weeks for a paycheck. Get up to $150 a day with a max of $750 between paydays. No interest, no credit checks, and no mandatory fees. Because, hey, it's your money. Download the Earnin app now to get it and join millions of people making any day payday. That's EARNIN. Earnin is not a bank. Access limits are based on your earnings and risk factors available in select states. Expedited transfers available for a fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Visit earnin.com for full details.
The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Citizens, since we each upgraded to Xfinity in our homes, the Wi-Fi has been booming. It's fair to say our town has officially become a boomtown.
Mayor, will I be able to drop into multiplayer gaming battles with low lag?
The lag won't be an issue, but your questionable skills may be.
And what if I have hundreds of devices on the Wi-Fi? Purely hypothetical.
Seems like a lot, but sure, hundreds of devices all booming together with the Xfinity Gateway. Yes, friends and neighbors, with Xfinity, the Wi-Fi is booming.
The Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Now get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best-in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed. All in. Plus, get unlimited data included and no annual contract. All with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with XFi Complete required for unlimited data except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
22 days until Seahawks